Are you tired of feeling tired? Are you struggling with vitality and constantly feeling burnt out? And does your body just not feel great? Join hosts Monique Bradley and advocate for natural medicine Lynette Hill from My Remedy as they explore the issues, interview industry professionals, and share bite-sized tips on how to own your health. We're live in the studio tonight with special guest Kohei Iguchi. It's Health Bites, bite-sized pieces of health and wellness information so you can own your health. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Your Fix TV studio. I'm your host this evening. I'm Monique Bradley, and I am delighted to launch tonight's show with our other host. This is Lynette Hill from My Remedy. Kia ora, Lynette.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good, really
Excellent,
good.
Excellent. Now, Lynette Hill, if you haven't met her before, Lynette is in fact a registered naturopath, owner and clinical director of My Remedy Clinic, public speaker, clinic supervisor in natural medicine, and is your host of Health Bites TV. What an exciting night we've got ahead of us.
It is, it is.
Now, we also have another lovely guest on the couch tonight. This is Kohei Iguchi, also from My Remedy. Welcome to the couch.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you here. And we're going to hear more from you throughout the show. Is that right?
Sounds great. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Look, there's been a lot of anticipation about the show and so many people interested in talking about health. At My Remedy, what are you seeing when people are walking into your clinic?
Well, we see a wide variety of people with a great range of conditions. Most people are coming in to tweak their health. So we're seeing things like bloating, adrenal fatigue, issues dealing with stress, trouble sleeping, headaches, food intolerances, allergies, eczema. That's a really big one, which Kohei can talk into later. So just a wide range of dis-ease.
Great. Well, not great, but no. Yeah, it's amazing to hear such a broad range of people living with discomfort. So that's what we want to talk about with the show. Now, we are actually live here in the Your Fix TV studio. I have a computer set up right beside me. I can see who's watching. Hello to you. Feel free to send in your messages into the newsfeed because we're actually here to help you if you do have any concerns and you may have some questions for the experts. So let's delve into tonight's topic, and this has been a real big one with many people asking about their gut. Tonight's topic, and what we'll be talking about for the next 3 weeks here, is gut health. Oh, Lynette, gut health is a big one for natural medicine, right?
It is. As a naturopath particularly, we consider the gut to be the centre of health, and we spend an awful lot of time asking about it, learning about it, and trying to help the gut. It does our digestion, it's involved with our gut brain, so it works with our emotions, it supports our entire body, and it's actually the seat of our immune response.
Right, so it's quite a big part of our overall
wellness. It's a really big deal, yeah.
Excellent. So first of all, you've mentioned the term naturopath, and I know we've talked about natural medicine. Firstly, what actually is natural medicine?
So natural medicine means we're not dealing with synthetic medicine. We are looking at what we can use in our diet and lifestyle, supplementation to trigger the body's response to heal. We're looking at what we can put into our life and take out of our life to make us more healthy. So we're not a doctor. We do not diagnose disease. That we have doctors for that, thank goodness.
Yes.
And they work with disease and do a very good job of it. What we do is work with the organ that's saying, help me. It might be my liver or my gut. And we say, what can we do nutritionally to support that organ to work better?
Excellent. So my understanding is that the field of natural medicine isn't just naturopathy or homeopathy. It's quite a broad spectrum of modalities. Is that right?
Yeah, it covers a whole range of other fields. So it can be things like chiropractics, it can be Reiki massage, or other nutritionists as well. Yeah, a whole range of people. Counsellors,
hypnotherapy, budget advisors if that's the issue.
Wow.
But it's people not using medicine. And it's people who are physically not doing any harm either.
Excellent. So it really is a wide variety in natural medicine. And you would probably consider it to be a health team of sorts? Would that be right?
Absolutely. And no, we're going to talk about My Remedy later, but the clinic that we have is very much a team approach. So we are patient based. So when a patient comes in, we're going to look at, is it naturopathy that you need?
Right.
Or do you need to talk to someone more about diet? Do you need massage? Do you need to visit our homeopath and have an acute remedy? So we look at our patient and we go, what's best for them? And that's the whole field of natural medicine. If we can't help, we're looking to those other
Great
people.
stuff, because I know there's a lot of people who have been asking that very question. And in fact, I can see there's several people watching in the news feed. Now, just a shout out to you, if you do have any questions at all, because I'm just checking the news feed right now, feel free to send your questions in. If you want to know anything about natural medicine, or as we talk about tonight's topic, if you do have any questions, or maybe you're experiencing some of the symptoms we're going to be talking about, send in a message in the news feed. That's what this show is all about. Now, we do need to jump into the legal stuff. There's a certain amount we can and can't say on screen, but I really want you guys to know that this show is not here to give you a diagnosis. This show is actually here to inform you about the options available to you and to allow you to ask questions about those options. We will not give you specific medical advice or diagnose disease. But it is important that if you do have any medical concerns, please, please, please contact your medical professional. All the information is there on the screen for you. Look, do seek assistance if you need it. We're here, we've got your back, and we'll help steer you in the right direction. So, Lynette, as we were preparing for the launch of the show, one of the things that you actually discussed with me was a concept around a health ladder. Now, this was really new to me, and I really love this analogy, and I thought maybe tonight we can share this with everybody watching so they can understand how natural medicine kind of grows and where you fit on that health ladder.
Sure, Monique. The ladder of health, and I've got a little bit of a different attitude to a ladder where I don't want to be at the top where I'm swinging around and feeling really quite nervous and anxious.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to have my feet securely planted on the ground.
Great.
So through natural medicine, particularly through naturopathic principles, because that's what I can speak into.
Yes.
We're talking about having a really healthy diet, good water, good food, real food, no fad stuff here, lifestyle, good relationships, your finances are under control, pretty perfect really, and just able to get through the day with good energy and sleep at night and do everything easily.
Yes, sounds great. So the bottom rung of that layer, you've pretty much, of the ladder I should say, you've pretty much stated there, you've got your feet firmly on the ground. So that's feeling good, no worries.
No wobbles.
Excellent, we like that a lot. Let's look up to the next rung.
So this is where you just might need what I call condensed nutrients, which are vitamins and multivitamins. Sometimes you might think, gosh, I might just need a probiotic or some vitamin C or just a little something to tweak it so that I can stay firmly on the ground. So you might just need a wee bit of help there. And this is where people start looking, I'm a little bit stressed. What are you using, Monique, that you always look so vibrant? Oh, some B vitamins or something like that. So, and maybe a little bit of Google searching.
Oh yeah, that sounds like me.
not too much Dr. Google, please.
Excellent. So the next rung of that ladder.
This is generally where we start to see people as health practitioners. People are starting to live with symptoms. They've got constant tiredness or difficulty sleeping. They're often bloated. They might have the symptoms of IBS, which is sometimes you can go to the toilet too often, sometimes you're a little bit stopped up. You might start having some skin issues or some issues around your periods. Things are just starting to go a little bit wobbly. And this is when we'd be asking you to go and see a medical professionist, and we would hope that you'd look into the natural field there. Or this is when you go and see your doctor and say, please diagnose this and tell me what's going on.
And ask for those tests to be done.
Yeah.
And the top rung of that ladder.
Well, this is a scary, scary place to be, and it's wobbly. You know what it's like at the top of the ladder.
Yeah.
So this is when you have diagnosed disease and you may be being medicated for it, or it really be in the medical system. Now, that's really important at this point on the ladder, that you follow all the advice of your medical advisors, your doctor, your health care team. But also at this point, it's important to remember that you can have some more help. So a naturopath or a chiropractor or someone who's trained to work alongside your medical team to support your health no matter where you're at.
Excellent. So the goal is really to get down to the bottom, right?
Come back down the ladder and be really well supported.
Excellent. I love that description. I really feel it's a really easy to understand description. So thank you for sharing that. And look, if you are watching, send us in your messages. I do have to say a shout out to Debbie Curtis and Abby Leaf who are watching tonight. Kia ora to you. We would love to hear from you if you've got any complaints. Not just you two, but other people watching. If you've got any symptoms that you might be living with, or something during that description has really resonated with you, we want to hear from you. So tonight's topic is really talking about gut health, isn't it?
It is.
But before we delve into that, now, there's a bit of a backstory here. We are really excited about working with Power Clinic, which is part of the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. Now, you both are graduates of the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine, is that right?
That's right.
Exciting times. So probably a few of you are thinking, what is this college you speak of and what is the Power Clinic? So Lynette, do you want to give us a quick
I do.
announcement
I
about
do.
it?
So South Pacific College of Natural Medicine is a teaching PTE, so that where you're doing a Bachelor of Natural Medicine. And the Power Clinic is where you do your final year of practical training under supervisors. So Robin's going to come in and tell us a wee bit about that now.
Excellent. So we've got a quick video for you describing all about the Power Clinic.
Welcome to Power Clinic. I'm Robin Carruthers, the Clinic Director. The Power Clinic is a student clinic at the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. We've got two main functions here. One is to give our students a really good educational experience. They're the ones who staff the clinic and they are supervised by experienced practitioners, naturopaths and medical herbalists. Our other role, which is more important, is to provide the community with affordable natural health care. So we have free visits for under 6-year-old children and for people over 65, and our other adult normal fees are heavily subsidised. We see a whole range of people here at Power Clinic, people who've got just minor health complaints, who want to look at a wellness plan, right through to people who are on a range of medications and have quite serious health conditions. A lot of people think with natural health care that if you're taking medications, you can't go to a naturopath. But in fact, we're very careful to take that into account and to work around it and support people while they are taking medications that they need to take. So if this sounds like it might be of interest to you, please give us a call and we'll look forward to seeing you and to helping you on your health journey.
That was great. It's so good to hear what they're doing. And look, if you want to get in touch, here's the contact details on your screen. Do get in touch with the clinic if you are looking at starting your journey into natural medicine. It's a great place to start. It's cost effective. I mean, free for under what?
Under 5, so under 6. So
Under
it's free
6.
healthcare for your children, it's free healthcare for the elderly, and then the everything in between is highly subsidised.
Amazing.
It's just fantastic the difference that we see being made in people's lives. So, it's a
truly
really
amazing.
good start.
And what a great school for people wanting to delve into natural medicine as well. That school experience, how was that for you?
Oh, it's just a beautiful place. The whole building and the actual structure of the whole school is amazing. You get some really nice herbal garden as well. So we do a lot of our herbal medicine or agricultural side of things there.
Yes.
So that's really fun, and the teachers are just really friendly and very interactive with you, so that you get almost like a one-on-one sort of tutoring, which is just fantastic.
Excellent.
You know, I used to study at Auckland Uni, and I used to be in a classroom of about 200 people.
Wow.
So there's quite a contrast, and you
difference.
just feel like one of the numbers, whereas at South Pacific, you're really there as a person, and they treat you like a person. So
that's awesome. Well, look, we love hearing that, and that's what this community show is really about. It's about giving you guys a voice, talking to you about the options, and because we're live, you can actually message in at any time. So if you do hear anything that you want to hear more about, flick in those questions to us, send them in. I've got the news feeds right here. Tracy Marie Huia just said, awesome, something I, for one, truly need. Well,
Great.
Tracy Marie, honestly, it's really cost effective. I think it's going to be great. And I know you are living with some health conditions. And look, I'd love to see the students at South Pacific helping you. So do get in touch with them. That number was just on the screen before, but you can go back and watch the show again and find out all the details. Okay. It is time to move into tonight's topic. So we are speaking this month about gut health. Now, at first I thought when we were talking to Lynette about the show, a month on gut health, I mean, what's there to know? You get a bit of bloating, you might get some diarrhea, let's be honest. You know, if something doesn't agree with you. Is there more to gut health than bloating and diarrhea? And that's why we thought we'd get the experts on the couch. So first of all, Lynette, let's talk. What is gut health?
So gut health means it's working well. It's a great big organ, and it really starts here and ends up downstairs.
Right,
okay,
perfect.
so there's quite a lot of places that need to be correct in there. So we're looking at the physical aspect of it. So your skin, your inside skin, is that healthy? Is everything working? Is it hydrated so that it can actually push things through so it's not too painful the next day? Is digestion working for you? Is your flora correct? There are so many aspects of it that are important.
Okay, that's really good to know. Jorge, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, great! I was ready for this.
I know, right? With gut health, you know, you're seeing a variety of different people coming into My Remedy. You know, I know that your specialist area is skin, but skin and what happens on the skin is obviously an outward manifestation of what's going on inside, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So, how important is gut health with you being that sort of skin specialist?
Oh, very much so. And you know, some of the things that I sort of experienced myself was, you know, the gut really playing a role in terms of what pushes out the skin. So your gut and your urinary system are your primary elimination channels. So that's where you excrete toxins.
Oh, wow.
Now, if those things are not working correctly, sometimes your body chooses another elimination channel, which is your skin. Yeah, so that's where you sweat.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So if the gut shuts down and say your liver and your kidneys are not working very well, then and especially if you have what's called a leaky gut syndrome, where some of your basically your gut lumen becomes a little bit leaky, and some of the contents of the gut starts to leak into the bloodstream. And when that happens, it starts to travel around your body and starts to push out. So you can get things like eczema. Quite often, psoriasis is involved with this.
Wow.
And also things like acne as well. So, yeah, a whole range of skin issues that can come from the gut.
From the gut?
Yeah.
Wow, that's just blown my mind. So with gut issues, when people are coming into the clinic from both of you, to see both of you, what are you most commonly seeing? Because I'd love to know, if you're watching out there, I'd love to know if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, because I know, having had the discussion myself, I have, which is why I'm so glad we're talking about this. What are you guys commonly seeing most often?
I reckon bloating would be
Bloating.
the biggest one of the biggest ones. It's just so common.
Bloating, gurgly, gas, uncomfortable, a feeling that I've eaten my food, it is just sitting there. That's really, really common. I call that undigestion, not indigestion. Reflux.
Reflux is another one.
Hormonal issues as a result of all of that, not moving nicely.
And the trouble is that a lot of people think that's sort of normal.
Yes.
Because they've had it for a long time and other people have had it, so it's like, oh.
I did. I thought it was normal.
And you're not dying of it.
No.
And you can function and you can do your day-to-day stuff. So people, it's a very sort of, it's very difficult to get statistics on it, and I tried to get statistics, but it's not a disease. It's a bunch of symptoms, and they're often good today and bad tomorrow. What did I eat yesterday?
That's my story right there.
Yeah, so
and
it's hard.
I'd be really interested to know how many people watching are actually suffering with those similar symptoms, because clearly living in that state of dis-ease, it's not disease, but you're living in discomfort.
That's
Am I right there?
Yeah, you're not optimal. You know that things could be better, and they didn't used to be like that. Is a big clue.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to gut problems and what you're seeing in My Remedy, if we click to the image of the ladder, what often are you most seeing with people on the steps of that ladder? would it be people living suboptimal, as you said, or is it getting a bit more serious at that stage?
It's getting up to the third where they're living with the symptoms, you know, so they're often unwell. They're starting to really get sick of it. You know, they've often actually been to the health store or Dr. Google and they've done something. They come in, and I'll often hear, I don't know about you, Kohei, oh, I've taken probiotics and they didn't work. And it's like, maybe that's not what you need at this point. Maybe you've gone beyond that. Sometimes these people have also been overseas or they've had a gastro bug. And so it's taken their gut that much further into dis-ease and disorder. Okay. So yeah, I'd say the third ladder.
Yeah, and I suppose that's where the middle line works, but obviously it's a scale, and you know, we get the people at the extreme end who have been diagnosed with celiac or ulcerative colitis, you know, and some people actually come in and we do the consultation, and as we go through the consultation, we find out that they get bloating and gassiness, and we're like, did you know that that's not normal?
Yes.
And they're like, oh, right. Okay.
I have to admit, I've lived with it for years. I just thought it's what happened. I didn't realise it means something's not quite right.
That's right.
I just thought that's what my body did. So this has been a bit mind-blowing for me already.
So you don't actually have to live with bloating and pain. You don't have to live with constipation or diarrhea or intermittent. That's right. And you do need to sometimes pull some foods out, because often by the time our gut's not well, food's the last thing it needs. So a lot of people will immediately start cutting things out, dairy and gluten, first on the list. Now, up until, say, 2 years ago, you could eat those. So you know you don't have a dairy allergy or a gluten allergy, but they certainly are upsetting that already sensitive gut.
Gotcha. I think it's like listening to you reading my diary right now, because I'm looking forward to a day when I no longer bloat an entire dress size. I think I need to come and see you guys myself.
Definitely.
Because seriously, and I'm interested to know, you know, if you're watching right now, how many of you are living with those same symptoms? Because I'm outing myself right now, and I'm being really honest. I've really struggled with my gut for a number of years. I didn't realise that this is not normal.
This isn't aging. You know, this is not right.
No.
Even I can't blame it on age.
Oh, wow. Look, this is really, great. Some great comments coming through. We're just about to go to the news feed and see what you guys have got to say. So thank you. Keep sending in your comments as well, because we love hearing how you might be dealing with your own gut health in your own home. Now, there was another thing that you mentioned during our discussion, and it's the effects of stress and a busy lifestyle on our gut health. Can you just speak into that point? Because you've got a great tip when it comes to eating consciously.
Oh, I do. And this is not do as I say, not as I do all the time. So one of the most important things that we forget about is that we need to rest when we eat. We've heard of fight or flight, which means we go, but there's also rest and digest.
Wow.
And in order to digest, you need to rest. So think of yourself running along and you've got a burger and you're eating it. Okay. Do you do that?
I'm not going to talk about it, but yes, I eat on the run.
Okay. Well, so many of us do, and in the car people are eating, or they're eating while they're working. Now you are not resting, so it takes an awful lot of energy to digest that food. So it's either just going to sit there and make you feel awful and you'll get some bloating, or your body might push it through because you've got like an afternoon of work to do. So this is why we get a lot of indigestion feelings. You know, it's just uncomfortable after I eat. It takes an awful lot of energy to digest food. So we need to take time to eat. Wow. Look at your food, love your food, smell it, let your brain get involved. You know, what is it? What digestive enzymes does my body need to create? Chew it, you know, taste it. Your brain's making decisions about everything that you're eating. Let it get into your gut. Let it get churned around, let it get digested, and give it just a moment to start moving down into your intestines and start all of that absorption and everything else that goes on. It's not just about, oh, the food's in my mouth, therefore I've eaten. there's a huge amount of time. And, you know, overseas, and there are countries that people eat what I'd consider to be very hard food to digest, lots of wheat. So in Mexico and in Italy.
Yes.
But what do they do? What do they do?
Well, this is the thing I was just going to mention. It's like the French paradox, isn't it? It's not really the wine, unfortunately, but it's the way they're eating and the things that they're eating.
This lifestyle.
They sit down with their family, their big family. They take their time. They enjoy their meals.
That's right.
And
Happy digesters.
Yeah.
And then the Mexicans, I believe, I think it's the Mexicans, they have a siesta.
That's right. Go to sleep.
So, I mean,
Wake
it's
up.
like living the dream.
Yep.
I guess that's why they've always called it a lunch break. You're actually supposed to take a break when you eat.
Yeah.
And, you know, we used to do that. We used to get up in the morning and the traffic didn't take as long as it does now. You had time to eat and then you went to work and then you had a little bit of a break and then you had some lunch and you had time to look after yourself and to digest your food. And I do think that there've always been people with allergies and intolerances, but there's so many now, and I wonder how much our rushing lifestyle has to do with that, all those gut symptoms.
A really good point. So I guess if you want to take one tip away from tonight's show, other than speak to a professional if you are living with some sort of dis-ease or with discomfort, the one thing I would say, a Health Bites tip for tonight is right here on your screen. It's rest and digest. Rest and digest. And make sure you share tonight's show and this tip with your friends as well. Be a mindful eater and see what happens to your gut health. So it's a big night. We've got a big night. We've got a little bit more content coming your way. Very exciting. We are talking tonight about gut health, but always remember, if you are concerned about your health and wellness, there's something really important you need to remember. This show is not here to give you a diagnosis. It is here to inform you about the options available and to allow you to ask questions about those options. We will not give you a specific medical advice or diagnose disease. It's important that if you have any medical concerns, please contact your medical professional. Thank you, Pete, our producer. Now, I do want to hit the news feed really quickly before we delve into talking to you a little bit more there, Kohei, because I'm really excited about this. Now, just over in the news feed, a great message, well, not a great message, but thank you, Debbie Curtis, for sharing. When I'm stressed, I tend to bloat across the top of my tummy, even after doing a mindfulness exercise, and it stays for the whole day. Is this common?
Do you want me to answer?
We can both answer.
We can both answer. Right, I'll make a start.
You make a start.
Okay,
Right.
so this is when you are stressed that you get the...
Yes.
Okay, so just one thing that we need to remember is a little bit of anatomy and physiology. Our adrenals sit right here.
Do they?
Yeah, they're nice and high up, aren't they? Please tell me I've got the right place. And so when we're stressed, this is what we may be feeling, is that pump, 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 pump of adrenaline, which is saying, I'm stressed, I don't have time to eat, I'm just surviving. That's right, it's survival. And we're really good at using adrenaline now. So if you are all up here, you're telling your body, no food is needed, I've got adrenaline, and that food, it's very, very difficult for your food to be going through and digested.
Wow.
And I suppose getting back to, thinking about how stress links back to your digestive function, it doesn't prepare your body for digestion. So you're having less acid or digestive enzymes in your gut because it's not being prepared. That's why a lot of countries, they actually have appetizers that are sour or something that's stimulating. So that stimulates your saliva, which means that you're also secreting digestive enzymes and also hydrochloric acid in your gut. Now, if that's not happening and you eat, then it just sits there for a while. And so something that should digest a little bit quicker stays in your upper stomach area. And that means that you're going to feel bloated up there, And also you get a little bit of regurgitation sometimes, and that turns into reflux.
Not nice.
I've had that too.
Yeah.
I've had the full gamut of it all. So Debbie, I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into what's happening in your body. And look, a really good option for you might be to go and see the people at Power Clinic. Their students are very knowledgeable. They have incredible training, and I know you can get treatment there, or you can get not a diagnosis, but they can talk you through your wellness and your journey back to wellness in a really cost-effective way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Something
definitely.
just a little bit more than the meditation. Meditation is great.
That's right.
Yes.
But it might not be doing enough to bring down the stress
There you go.
responses.
Excellent. Thanks, team. And that's why we love this show, because it gives you guys a voice to ask the questions to the experts. So Debbie just said, yes, thank you.
Great.
Yay!
We helped someone tonight.
Katie English, isn't this great? Katie English also messaged in, I find that fermented food really helps if I'm suffering with any digestive problems. I just have to remember to put it on my plate.
That's a good point.
How does fermented food work with the gut?
Oh, it's great. It's kind of like it's weird to say natural probiotics, because we have probiotics in capsules.
Yes.
Now that's obviously much higher in strength, but I find that fermented foods a great way to support through your lifestyle, because it's something that's culinary.
Yep.
And it's enjoyable.
Yes.
If you like that particular
Yes.
type of food, and it really does support. But when you have a specific issue, sometimes you need something a little bit more, which
Excellent.
comes to the supplements.
I know for a fact that Master Chef Ray McVinney, my very dear friend, is a huge fan of fermented foods.
Oh, they're great.
Is he?
He certainly is. He just raves about it. Thinks they taste amazing. So something that tastes amazing and is good for your gut, double win.
That's right, absolutely. And it's also got that prebiotic nature to it. So it's setting your gut up for the good bacteria to get a home.
Gotcha.
Sometimes just a little bit of caution, a little bit of something is good and a lot is gas.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay.
Okay, excellent. I'm
Got
glad
that.
we had that conversation. Now, Anna Welsh also said hi. Joanna Vincent said, looking good. Michael Ayers also said, looking good, guys. Look, it's great to have you here. Now, a question actually just come in from our lovely friend who's watching over in Kashmir in India.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I know who
Namaste
it
to
is.
Raja Chetan. Good to see you on the newsfeed tonight. Oh, this is great. So many lovely comments coming in. Now, let me just find. Raja Chetan just said, when I had subacute pancreatitis, my doctor said, as you are, I think it says alcoholic, not alcoholic. Stress could be the reason for this because he didn't have gallstones. So do you guys or see in your experience that stress can be a big contributor to other conditions? Can you say that? You can't say that, can you? On screen?
Yes, we can
You
say
can,
that.
yeah.
We
Okay,
absolutely
wow.
can. We say that. We
Yeah.
are saying right now that stress is a major contributor to a great many other conditions, because if you've got this center not working, if you're not digesting because you're stressed, if you're not detoxifying because you're stressed, then other organs are trying to take over. So other organs are going to have to work harder. Your pancreas might be really, churning out those enzymes and really trying to give you a bit of an extra hand to digest. Your liver might be going, hey, it's fine. You don't need to digest that or detoxify. I'll store that in my fats.
Wow.
So if you're not digesting fats, you're going to be starting to get build up and things like problems with your gallbladder. So that's why the gut digestion is so important.
Excellent. Now we do have 3 more weeks or 2 more weeks after tonight of discussing gut health. So keep coming back. Remember, Monday nights New Zealand time, 7 p.m. Raja, thank you for your comment there. It's really, really good to have you on the feed. Oh, Raja also said, because he's mentioned to me before, he's struggled with depression and anxiety and OCD. So obviously there's a little bit of adrenaline going on there in the system.
That's right.
That can be really activating that the gut there.
Yeah, I just recently did a talk on depression and how the gut is so important in terms of the relationship.
Wow.
Because like Lynette mentioned briefly about the brain-gut axis,
Yes.
which is a very intimate connection between your gut and your brain. And we have a lot of bacteria in our gut.
Yes.
About 100 trillion.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's about 1.4 kgs worth of bacteria.
Who counts these things?
Oh, there's these little counters.
There's people.
There's bacteria accountants.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And they communicate with the rest of your body because we're only about 46% human cells.
Yeah.
The rest is bacteria.
We're a colony.
We're like walking petri dishes, really.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I feel so dirty right now.
That's all right.
Just joking.
Some of it's good stuff.
Joking. So, wow, that's really interesting to know.
Yeah, so it's a feedback system of if the gut's not working very well, then it's going to feed back into the brain and cause things like inflammation up there as well, which can sometimes even change your brain cells, shrink some of those important cells for comfort and relaxation, whereas it can grow some of the other cells that is more fear-based or survival mode.
Wow.
And if that happens up there, it can also affect the gut as well.
It's all going on here tonight. What a big show we've got. We've still got a little bit more content coming up, so do stick around. We're not too far away from ending the show. Look, thank you guys. This is awesome content right here. I do need to tell you very quickly though, if you are considering having a visit, you can go and see the people at the Power Clinic at the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. But you guys have mentioned My Remedy several times.
Oh, we have.
I think it's time to talk about My Remedy right now. So what is My Remedy? Have you ever considered that symptoms may be the outward sign of something deeper and can just be the body's way of saying, help me? Well, the great news is that even small changes from the inside out can affect your health and, in fact, affect your whole health outcome. So, are you ready to make some positive changes? At My Remedy, the team of qualified and registered naturopaths are there to help you with any health condition, and each has their specialty. This is Jo, and she specialises in gut health and gut disorders. Kohei, who's a specialist in allergies, eczema and asthma. Lynette, adrenal fatigue and immune conditions. Mike, cardiovascular and men's health. Amy, optimal health through nutrition and naturopathic principles. And also at My Remedy, there are registered homeopaths such as Kate and clinical hypnotherapist Stephanie, who's here to help with the deepest challenges to your health, your beliefs, fears, habits and behaviours. So if you're ready to create better health for you and your family, try a different approach. Visit myremedy.co.nz or there's their phone number 09 486 2175. Well, if you have just joined the show, welcome. We are talking about gut health tonight, and we do have a special guest on the couch. This is my co-host right here. This is Lynette Hill from My Remedy, and on the couch is Kohei Iguchi. Now, Kohei, you're a specialist in skin, and you're a specialist practitioner at My Remedy as well. What is the skin-gut connection all about?
Oh, it's a really fascinating connection, and we just talked about how the gut flora or the bacterial balance is really important for the brain.
Yes.
Well, your skin is also manifested with lots and lots of bacteria. So if you think about that, we need optimal balance of bacteria on our skin, and that sometimes reflects what's going on here. So say if you've got something like fungal overgrowth,
yes.
Things like candida overgrowth, that is something that every one of us have in our gut. It's just when the balance is shifted and when the bad sort of bacteria overgrows, fungus can also grow as well.
Mind-blowing.
And so from there, it starts to pull out in your skin and it can cause fungal issues like sometimes thrush, obviously, yes. Athlete's foot. Yep. Yeah. You can get fungal toenails, and also things like seborrheic eczema, which often is related with fungal overgrowth as well.
Right, thank you for that. Now, Kohei has also put together a special video to share with you guys, and the reason he's done this is that both Lynette and Kohei are specialists in HemoView, and we really want to have a quick chat about that before we end tonight's show. But first of all, let's take a look at Kohei's video.
Hi, my name is Kohei Iguchi, and I'm a qualified naturopath, medical herbalist, and advanced HemoView practitioner. If you're suffering from stress and fatigue, digestive issues, skin complaints, allergies, hormonal imbalance, or other chronic illnesses, and would like to address your health concerns naturally, I can help. I offer comprehensive naturopathic consultations to listen and identify the root cause of your problems. Clinical tests such as HemoView, also known as live blood screening, may also be used to assess your current health condition. Treatments involve the use of high-quality, practitioner-only nutritional supplements and herbal medicine. I also believe that appropriate dietary and lifestyle adjustments play a crucial role in your healing process. In natural medicine, we appreciate that you're a unique individual, not just a number. And this is the reason why your treatment plans are always carefully personalized to suit your needs. I have a personal experience of suffering from severe eczema myself, and no amount of medication helped to put my skin at ease. After naturopathic treatment, my skin slowly began to recover. I felt hope, I felt relief, and now I'm eczema free. So you see, I deeply understand what it's like to struggle through an illness. And this is why I am dedicated in providing you with the necessary tools, support, and the care that you deserve. So, if you're concerned about your health and would like to take a more holistic approach, contact me today. For more information, please have a look through my website or come in for a free, no obligations discovery session so that you can find out how I can assist to improve the quality of your life. I'd love to help. Let's talk.
So there you go, Kohei, great video. Thank you so much. Well done, you. Look, it's really good as well to see what you do in action and to hear your story and the passion behind what you do. People can find you, of course, at My Remedy. We've got the details here on the screen for you. My Remedy, you can find Kohei there, myremedy.co.nz. Look, book a time with him. As he said there, you know, if you do want that initial consultation to see if natural medicine is a good fit for you, there's a no obligations consultation as the first part of your journey. Is that right, Kohei?
That's right. It's a 15-minute discovery session,
yep.
Which doesn't cost you anything except for your time. You can come in with all the questions and fill me in on what's going on with your health, and then I can explain how I can help, which is a great way to just break that barrier, you know, if you're unsure about natural medicine.
Excellent. Yeah. Look, it's a great place to start. And we just do have to remind you, if you have just joined the show, we do have to go through the legalities of what we're doing here. The show is not here to give you a diagnosis. We do want you to join us next week if you've only just joined. The show is here to inform you about the options available and to allow you to ask questions about those options. We will not give you specific medical advice, but it's important to know that if you do have any medical concerns, please contact your medical professional. Look, it is nearly the end of the show. We have loved having you all here with us. We do have to say a very big thank you to some really important people. Obviously, we want to say a very big thank you to the Power Clinic. Thanks, team. If you want to get in touch with them, there's the details on the screen. Also, if you want to book a session with any of the team at My Remedy, you've seen how many amazing practitioners they have there. There's the contact details on the screen. And a very big shout out to our show sponsor, the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. If you're considering a career in natural medicine, this is a great place to start. Head to their website, www.spcnm.ac.nz. So it is just about time to go. I do have to say a big thanks to Pete Ward from Your Fix TV. A big shout out to him. He's our producer here tonight. A big shout out with our logo. There you go. Yourfix.tv. This show will remain in Facebook, but if you want to watch it again, you can also watch it on the yourfix.tv website, and we'll also place a copy of this show onto the My Remedy website as well. So you can keep watching. If you need to come back to it, it'll be marked. This episode will be marked Gut Health Episode 1. So just going back to the news feed for a moment, Miranda Sophie has just said the gut is the second brain, so important.
That's
Absolutely.
right. Yep.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks, Miranda. Good to have you on the news feed. Joanna Vincent said, love this, Kohei.
Oh, thank
So
you.
congratulations to
Thanks,
you.
Jo.
We loved it as well. Look, we really want to thank you guys for being part of the show. Jorge, thanks for coming in to be our first official guest here at Health
All
Bites.
right, thanks very much.
Lynette, thank you for sharing your knowledge. You truly are an amazing woman. And we really want you guys to keep watching the show every week. For the next 2 weeks, we've got another live show coming up. And then on the 4th week of this month, you'll get all of the 3 shows back to back. That's what we're doing for the next 5 months of the year. So many great topics coming up. We've got fatigue and adrenal stress coming up. What else are we looking at?
Hormones, all sorts of
men's
things.
health, a whole bunch of
Cardiovascular
topics.
health.
However, we want to know some really important things. We want you to be part of the show. So send us your questions onto this Facebook feed or send them to the My Remedy Facebook page or to your Fix TV, because we want to know, what do you want to see? We'd also love it if you would share the show for us, because we really want to spread the joy and the help of natural medicine and what it can do to help everyone in their everyday life. And make sure you visit the pages of our partners. So find the Power Clinic on Facebook, find the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine, support My Remedy, and support your Fix TV. Now, Kohei, I do have to ask before we go,
Yes.
how can people find you on Facebook?
Oh, on Facebook. I think you can just search my name. Oh no, actually under Iguchi Natural Health.
Iguchi Natural Health?
Yeah, and you should be able to find me there. I'm pretty sure I'm the only Iguchi Natural Health on Facebook.
Excellent.
I hope so.
And there's a lot of interesting content there, and I do a lot of seminars as well.
Great.
I usually put them up on YouTube, and so you can
Awesome.
access that from my Facebook as well.
And what we'll do on both the My Remedy page and on your Fix TV is we'll share links to your YouTube videos as well. I'd be really interested to see the seminar that you talked about the gut and the mental health connection. That's one that really triggered for me tonight, having been an ambassador for depression and anxiety. I'd really love to see what that connection is.
Right.
So I hope this has resonated with you guys. Look, we've loved being here tonight. Raja Chetan from Kashmir in India has said thank you. Thank you, Raja, for joining us. Lauren Crowhurst said love this. Awesome. Lauren, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Lauren.
Miranda Sophie just said these guys are seriously amazing.
Oh, and Miranda is a seriously amazing chiropractor.
We love it.
My chiropractor.
Excellent. And also Debbie Curtis said you guys did amazing. Well done. Well, you know what? We can't do it without you guys. So keep being part of the conversation. Keep being part of the show. Remember, this is Health Bites. We're delivering bite-sized morsels, tasty samples of health information to help you on your way to wellness. Thanks, team, for joining us. Thanks to Pete at Your Fix. Thank you for watching. See you guys next week, next Monday, 7 p.m. Are you tired of feeling tired? Are you struggling with vitality and constantly feeling burnt out? Or does your body just not feel great? Well, join hosts Monique Bradley and advocate for natural medicine, Lynette Hill from My Remedy, as they explore the issues, interview industry professionals, and share bite-sized tips on how to own your health. And tonight, joining us on the couch and in the kitchen is naturopath, nutrition coach and chef, Amy Lynn. It's Health Bites, bite-sized pieces of health and wellness information so you can own your health. Hello and welcome to the All Fix TV studio. It's Monique Bradley here again this week, and on the couch, the amazing registered naturopath, I hope that's the correct term.
That's correct.
Lynette Hill from My Remedy. Lynette, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good tonight, much better than last week.
Okay, excellent. So we've got one episode under the belt.
Yes.
Obviously, there's been a huge amount of feedback from our first episode. And for you, you're starting to see a lot more people in your clinic as well. What has the response been since we've opened this can of worms and started talking about natural medicine and started talking about owning our health? What's that conversation been like for you?
It's been really good because so many people don't actually understand that they weren't healthy or that their health could be so much better. So we've had a lot of people coming to us and saying, oh, thank goodness, that, this is actually abnormal and there's something I can do about it. And it's easy. We're not frightened to get in touch.
No, that's what I think I love about natural medicine as well. It's such a gentle approach to wellness. Now, one of the key questions that actually came out from people who messaged me when they heard that these episodes were going to go to air is, what actually is natural medicine?
Okay, that's really simple. It's natural. It's usually plant-based, food-based, mineral-based. It's not synthetic. So generally it's not created from chemicals, or it's different to a drug, for example.
Right. And
food works to nourish you and correct things, whereas medicine, which is so important, that works to switch things on or switch things off, which are very, very necessary.
Okay, this is good to know. Now, do remember we are live here in the All Fix TV studio. I've got the news feeds here. I can see a whole bunch of you are watching tonight. Ursula Porte, I hope I got that name right, said, "Me, you are so amazing." Oh, it's great to have feedback like this.
That's
Look,
cool.
we're great to have
Ursula.
you watching the feed there, Ursula. It's good to have you with us. Now, I think for me, one of the biggest things we learnt from last week's show is that so many people mentioned the effects of stress when it comes to their gut health.
Yes.
How common is this that you're seeing them in clinic?
It's every single day.
Wow.
Yeah. So by the time people come to a naturopath, usually, although we are hoping to and starting to see people who come before that point to say, don't let me get there, but most people are already stressed. So whether or not it's from their condition or from life, and that's creating a gut condition. But what we feel in our head, we also feel in our gut. One day we might talk into the vagus nerve, which is just a big connector
That sounds cool.
of both. But yeah, stress has a huge part. And last week we talked about fight or flight, and rest and digest.
Rest and digest.
So if you're fight or flight here, then you're not resting and digesting here. So it's very important that those two things can toggle on and off to be healthy.
Right, so obviously if you have just joined the show for the first time, this month we are actually focusing on one particular topic for the entire month. And that topic is in fact gut health. So something that I've really been learning about gut health is that your gut is apparently like your second brain, and I just want to talk to you a little bit more about this point. This is something that came out in the conversation last week, Lynette. Tell me a little bit more about why is the gut classified as the second brain? A good question, right?
Oh, that's such a curly question. Again, that's basically a whole half-hour interview.
Okay.
But our everything that goes on in our gut can be represented. Our brain doesn't have any pain sensors. So if we've got an unhealthy gut, we've got little junctions, tight junctions that may open up, and then we get stuff going through into our bloodstream, goes through our blood-brain barrier, and it can actually activate what are called, they're chemicals in our brain, and those cause excitement, and then we get issues such as, anxiety and maybe headaches and brain fog and things like that. So that's probably a very simple way of saying how the gut affects the brain, and equally the brain affects the gut as well. So often people will say, I'm really, really stressed and I feel it all in my gut. So
yes, of course.
Yeah.
I know that feeling as well, having worked in media for a long time. There's that, something I used to pass off as nerves, like that nervous tummy. For me, that would, I feel like we're friends now, so for me that would end up in diarrhea.
Oh, lovely.
Perfect.
Thanks for sharing that,
You're
Monique.
welcome. I'm opening that conversation up early on in the show.
There's nothing off limits on this show.
Yes. Now, Miranda Sophie actually just said, ha, ha, ha. And then she said, glad it was a helpful comment last week. Yes, Miranda, that was such a great, it was such a great quote. That's something I really picked up from that last week's conversation. And I've had so many people message me about that same topic. It was a really new term to them as well. And also hearing from people in the comments feed about, for them, suffering from anxiety or extreme stress, grief, trauma, and how that really affected their stomach and vice versa.
And vice versa.
It was mind-blowing.
And it's interesting because Miranda's a chiropractor, so she's working with the nervous system. And so she could, one day maybe we get her on here and she can really speak into how the brain and the nervous system corresponds at the gut.
Perfect.
Be really good.
I think that's great. I'm just checking the news feed as well. Sajid Khan, hello to you. Sajid, I hope I said that right, just said, good program. Look, thank you so much. We're here to provide as much information as we possibly can, but I do have to share something from the legal perspective of what the show can and can't do. So we are here to help you on your own health journey, or if you've got somebody you care about in your life and they're having a few challenges with their own health, get them to watch this show. This show's not here to give you a diagnosis. It is here to inform you about the options available and to allow you to ask questions about those options. We will not and cannot give you a medical advice or diagnose disease while we are live. And it is important that if you do have any medical concerns, please contact your medical professional. However, what we can do while we're here in the studio and while we're live is we can have a conversation with you. And if there's something that we can't help you with tonight, or if it's something that needs to be diagnosed, we can steer you in the right direction to help you on your health journey. That's what Health Bites is all about, right?
That's what it's all about.
Okay, so we are talking about gut health here in the studio. So first of all, natural medicine, it's a big deal. It's not just about naturopathy or homeopathy. What modalities does natural medicine cover?
Well, naturopathy, homeopathy, medical herbalism, even nutrition, diet, lifestyle. You've got Reiki, you've got massage, you've got chiropractic care, you've got anything that is not medical, as in diagnosed by a doctor.
Right.
So it's all of those things that we use to keep ourselves healthy. Counselling.
I was going to say, how important is our mental health and our emotional health in this whole sort of forum? That's important too.
Absolutely, because if you, sometimes I'll be looking at someone's blood through HemoView and it's looking great, but there's all this stuff going on in their life. There's an issue with a relationship or something that needs to be sorted, and no amount of probiotics or vitamin C is going to help that.
Yes.
So, the mental picture is really important in all health. All health.
So I've seen a few comments come through over the week. I've had people personally message me since we went live. People saying to me questions like, and here's a big one, and I wrote it down. I eat well, why don't I feel well?
I would hear that in clinic every single day. And sometimes it's because the food may be good food, but it's not good food for you.
Wow.
Or maybe your gut is so unhealthy that it's not receiving anything as a good message, or you're so caught up in your stress and everything that's going on that you're not switching off. So there can be a whole range of reasons that you eat well and you don't feel well.
So in that situation, what does someone do? That's another 30-minute interview
You're
in itself.
asking really curly questions.
Thank you.
So what most people do is talk to their friends. Most people look in and say, well, what am I doing? Is it what I'm eating? Shall I just stop eating that? What we suggest you do is ask somebody who's trained to help you. So obviously for me, I'd be saying come and see a naturopath or a nutritionist or a chiropractor if that might be something structural. Maybe you haven't actually felt right since that accident where you get the whiplash. Maybe things are not connecting properly. So I go and find somebody quickly who can help you, like with a car. If you're driving along and you get a little light go off, generally you go, yikes, what's that? And you might look up on Google what it is. At that point, you would go to a mechanic, usually.
Right. Ask Dr. Google.
Yeah. So we say, have a quick look, ask around, but if you can't work it out, go and see an expert in that field.
Excellent. Now, Sophia Caruso just said that. Emoji. Thank you. Great to see you on the show. And I believe a whole bunch of other people have started sharing this show. That's what the show is about. Please share this with all your friends and all of your family, because we really do want to share the message of natural medicine with the entire world and get people really owning their health. Now, at this stage of the conversation, I'd really love to recap on something that was really important from last week's show, and that was this idea of the health ladder. Now, this is a really interesting theory to me. Now, we've got some screens to show you about Lynette's philosophy around health and what she's seeing when people come into the clinic. So Lynette, let's talk through the health ladder.
Okay, so usually we see people who are somewhere near the top of the ladder by the time they come into clinic. So they're already waving around and a bit wobbly with disorder.
Right.
So what we try to do as naturopaths is start right at the bottom with your feet firmly on the ground in your diet and your lifestyle. Your finances are good, your relationships are, reasonably good. And that's where we want you to be. It's nice and easy to stay there. Sometimes we need a little bit of help, and I call that condensed nutrients, like vitamins and maybe a probiotic if there's been some medical intervention, antibiotics or anything like that. Really helpful. So sometimes we need a multivitamin or something just to keep us better.
Right.
Then we get up onto that third level of suboptimal health. No, that's the next layer, isn't it?
The next layer is,
I'm climbing up the ladder really, really fast. The next ladder is where we're starting to get some dysfunction. So we may have some bloating, we might be starting to get headaches, or sleep's becoming a little bit hit and miss. Energy's going down, maybe something's showing on the skin. Now, often we'll go and get ourselves checked out at this point, or we'll go to Google as well. And we'll find out that, hey, look, we haven't got disease, so, you're fine. Well, you're not fine if you feel like that. So this is when we say this is a really good opportunity to go and get someone who's, a professional in their field, a naturopath, a herbalist, a homeopath, a chiropractor, the list goes on.
Right.
To have a look at you and see what they can do to make some changes through diet and lifestyle and maybe supplementation.
That's good to know.
And then the final level of the ladder is where you don't want to be, but often it's the first time we see people. You're at the top of the ladder, you've got diagnosed disease, you're wobbling around and feeling really unsafe, and we need you to be under medical care at this point and to follow their advice. We can work alongside at that point and support the body either to work well with the medication, to help with some of the side effects, and even to improve your health a little bit through diet and lifestyle. So maybe you can come down a rung or two and just feel a little bit more confident.
Right, because obviously where we really want to be, that's a picture of HemoView, by the way. We're going to cut to that in just a second. Obviously where we want to be is back with our feet firmly on the ground, right? No wobbly ladder.
Yes, nice and easy. Maybe hanging on to the ladder.
Okay, hanging on to the ladder. Okay, so HemoView, which is the image you got a flash of before, HemoView is one of the tools that a naturopath may use to look at what's going on with the blood. Tell me about this. Do you have to take a pint of blood to do it? No,
I actually don't like blood or needles or anything like that, so it's quite weird that I work with it. So at My Remedy, the clinic I have, we have 2 HemoView therapists there, so we do this, and we also provide it to all of our practitioners to utilise. So it's just a pinprick of blood. So like when you take a diabetes pinprick.
Gotcha.
Yeah, really, really, even you could do it and not faint, I think.
Okay, that's perfect, because I am a bit squeamish.
Yeah. So we put that little drop of blood onto a very high-powered dark field microscope, so it has light coming through it, and it gives us this image here.
Okay,
where
we're just going to cut to that.
Yeah, so we can see there the red blood cells, which are the ones that look like O's.
Yes.
And we can see things like chylous material, which are the fats either from the diet or what's coming out of the liver. And this picture here is of platelet aggregation, which is quite a large one, and that's that big fuzzy bit in the middle with the line through it.
Yes.
And that's called hypersecretory, which means it's got bubbles around the side of it. Now, if you were coming in and I saw that in your blood, I'd be asking you questions like, how's your gut? Have you got some bloating? Is there, a few sugar cravings going on here? Are you starting to notice that maybe foods aren't so great? And this blood here is showing that there is aggravation at the gut level and some inflammation, and also if the cells are not lovely and all the same size. So we know that either the nutrition isn't great in the first place, or the nutrition might be good and the gut's not absorbing things in the way it should. So
Wow.
I eat well, why don't I feel well?
That answers that question.
That one. Yeah.
Okay, so with HemoView, can you tell if somebody has an intolerance or an allergy? Because they're two different things, is that
they're
right?
very, very different. So an allergy is something that if you have your body has a registered response to an allergen, and it's an allergic response. So some people are allergic to bee stings.
Grapefruit. So as soon as I have a grapefruit, within half an hour, I've got hives.
Hives, that's right. Whereas an intolerance is usually, my gut's not working so well, maybe I don't process lactose or gluten too well, and I feel it and I know it.
Okay.
And so they're quite different. So with HemoView, with an intolerance, we will see more hypersecretory platelets and different white blood cells. With an allergy, it's all about the white blood cells.
Wow, that's totally amazing. I've learnt more even now, and it's really good having you all on the stream too. Joanna Vincent just said hi. Hello to you, Jo. And Lynn Marie Goosen Stanley, I hope I said that correctly, just said you're amazing, Lynette.
Oh, thanks, Lynn Marie.
That is so cool. Well, look, I think that is totally amazing, and we are going to head into the kitchen. We've got a special guest in the kitchen who is going to show you a great recipe, which I believe is going to work beautifully with your gut. Yes. In the meantime, I'm really excited to announce that we are working on this show in association with the wonderful people at Power Clinic. So let's take a look at a little bit of behind the scenes at Power Clinic.
Welcome to Power Clinic. I'm Robin Carruthers, the Clinic Director. The Power Clinic is a student clinic at the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. We've got two main functions here. One is to give our students a really good educational experience. They're the ones who staff the clinic, and they are supervised by experienced practitioners, naturopaths and medical herbalists. Our other role, which is more important, is to provide the community with affordable natural health care. So we have free visits for under 6-year-old children and for people over 65, and our other adult normal fees are heavily subsidised. We see a whole range of people here at Power Clinic, people who've got just minor health complaints, who want to look at a wellness plan, right through to people who are on a range of medications and have quite serious health conditions. A lot of people think with natural health care that if you're taking medications, you can't go to a naturopath. But in fact, we're very careful to take that into account and to work around it and support people while they are taking medications that they need to take. So if this sounds like it might be of interest to you, please give us a call and we'll look forward to seeing you and to helping you on your health journey.
And if you want to find more about Power Clinic, we'll share some of the details with you after this presentation. But for now, I'm actually in the kitchen with this gorgeous goddess. This is Amy Lynn, who's also from My Remedy. Now, she is an expert in nutrition. Yeah, and food. You're a chef, for goodness sake, so you know a lot about food. And you're also a naturopath.
Yes.
Now, I find that interesting. If you're already a trained chef and you opened the first raw food cafe here in Auckland, is that right?
I did, yeah.
And you've moved over into naturopathy. Let's talk about letting food be thy medicine, because I did read that somewhere.
Yeah.
Amy, yes, of course. So first of all, Amy, tell everybody watching a little bit about you and what you do.
Well, you pretty much said it.
Okay.
But yes, I'm a naturopath. I also am a chef, so I'm trying to bring the two worlds together. and educate people on good food and nutrition, obviously, which is all about, so that they can lead a healthier life and not have to take 1,000 pills.
That's what we all want, because we don't have a handbag big enough for 1,000 pills, let's be honest. So, Amy, you've done a lot of work around the country or around the world?
Yes, around the world.
Around the world with food.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to know is, I know you've done a lot of work, say, at retreats and creating, is it just raw food or is it a variety of food?
Originally, it started off with raw food, but discovered that sometimes that's not so good for certain guts. So we do bring in a lot of vegan food as well, so cooked vegan, but mainly raw food. Yeah.
See, that's really interesting. I'd be really interested to know too, if you're watching, have you tried a raw food diet? How's that worked for you? We'd love to hear your feedback, because this is as much about us being here as it is about having you as part of that conversation. So send us in your thoughts, and we'd love to know what you eat and how that affects your wellness. So, Amy, when you're working with clients, what is the normal thing you're seeing with their dietary challenges?
Well, there's plenty of things that make the gut go funny.
Yeah.
And gluten and dairy, as we know, are the two big ones that can imbalance things there, which are hard for people to cut out, especially bread. It seems to be the number one thing that people love to eat.
Yes.
But even sometimes coffee can be too much. You know, some of us drink like 5 coffees a day. You know, just trying to bring everything into balance.
What does a lot of coffee do to the gut?
Well, it can give it inflammation.
Wow.
Everyone can digest differently, but sometimes when you're not getting enough nutrition, coffee can just make things worse. It can malabsorb you as well, so you're not actually absorbing
that's incredible.
your nutrients. Yeah.
Wow, learning a lot tonight.
And then the liver has to overwork and like get all those toxins out and whatnot. Yeah. Wow. Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation, I totally agree. Now, Amy, you do a lot of work at retreats as well. So when people come to those retreats, what are they coming for? Is it because of food allergies or intolerances, or what are their goals, and what sort of results do you get?
Well, surprisingly, people do come to those kind of retreats to find their wellness. They know they're imbalanced, whether it be mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and they just want to either get away from society for a week, or mainly it's about getting back on track. A lot of it's weight loss as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but you always can intuitively know when there's something not quite right inside, although we ignore it. But that is like all those reasons people go to retreats. It's just to like turn off and reset their buttons.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what are the physical results you're seeing?
Amazing weight loss is the number one.
Yep.
Yeah. And just even having your bowel movements flow nicely.
We like that.
Yeah.
We like that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people can lose up to, 6 or 7 kgs in just 1 week of having...
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Like cutting out all of those processed foods, and gluten and dairy and sugar is a big one as well. Just cutting that out for 1 week, you'll see amazing results. Can you imagine what you do if you 6 weeks after 6 weeks?
I would be a complete goddess then. So Amy's very kindly come into the kitchen today to show you something you can make in your own home. Super easy to make, and it's really good for your gut. What are you making?
Well, fermented foods is a big thing at the moment.
That's right.
Which is good. People are waking up and understanding that it's good for us. So today I'm just going to make some coconut kefir and coconut yogurt.
I was going to say, what is kefir?
Yeah. So a kefir is when you add a probiotic to a liquid. So you can actually do water, you can do dairy kefir, or you can do coconut. So I prefer coconut because there's no dairy. So even though when you do add probiotics to it, like a milk, it does eat the sugar.
Right.
So it's a lot more easier to digest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So even people who are lactose intolerant can sometimes handle kefir because the probiotics is eating the sugar, which is usually what people have the intolerance to.
Whoa!
Yes.
This is mind-blowing. Wow.
Yeah. And then so the probiotics eat the sugar, but they also put in good things into the water. So it's like full, the coconut water is full of probiotics after it's been fermented.
This is mind-blowing. I'd love to know if any of you watching tonight, if you if you eat fermented food, I know it's been a big food trend at the moment. People like it and they like the health benefits.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know if you make fermented food in your kitchen. If so, share a recipe, or be part of this conversation, because we love having you on board. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Let's do it.
Okay, so I've actually pre-cracked a couple of coconuts.
Okay, cool.
Just in case.
And you just get these from your supermarket?
Yes, I highly recommend using fresh coconuts. The taste is completely different. It's really fresh and clean. So I pre-cracked a couple of coconuts. I poured the liquid into here, and I've kept the meat of the coconut in here, which we will blend up in a second. So this is 2 coconuts, and I got about 500 mils of coconut
So you
water.
just scrape it out with a spoon?
Yeah. So you crack the coconut, you pour the liquid into a container. This is some of the coconut water.
It's so pure as well. Look at it.
Yeah, exactly. It's pure. You know exactly what's in there. A lot of the coconut waters on the market, well, probably all of them, have been pasteurized. So pretty much you're killing a lot of the enzymes even before you get it into your glass.
I didn't know that. One thing I did know is that some of the coconut waters have added sugar and things like that. So they're not quite as good for you, are they? Well, we can't say that, but it's everything in moderation.
You know what you're getting right from the coconut.
True.
Yeah. So and it hasn't been pasteurized.
Right. So if somebody is going to look at buying coconut kefir, what sort of price are they going to pay?
Yeah.
If it's all processed and things like that. What's the retail?
It's quite expensive. So coconut kefir, just for a 300 ml bottle, is about $25.
Oh, sausages, eggs, and chips. It's a better thing to say than swear. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
And yet, how much will this cost you for around the same amount?
Well, right now the coconuts, this was $5, but you can get them down to $2.50. You can get them from your local supermarket. And
even the markets, the farmers markets in the weekend often have them as well.
Yeah, you want to go for a young coconut though. You have to make sure that you get the young coconut, not the mature coconut, because it's hard. The meat in the mature one is quite hard.
Okay.
And you can't really scrape it out to make yogurt.
Yeah.
That has other purposes.
Okay, perfect.
But so it's a lot cheaper. And then with the coconut yogurt, which we'll get to next, $15 for a small...
So expensive. And if you're wanting to look after your health by adding something like this into your diet, I mean, most people don't have $15 to spend on coconut yogurt. What if you wanted to buy kefir and coconut yogurt? That's a big deal. That's your whole budget blown for the week. Okay, so you scrape out the coconut flesh or the coconut meat. You get all your coconut liquid,
which I've poured it into here.
I want to call it juice, but it's not really a juice. It's a coconut water.
Water. Yeah, cool. Yeah. So what I've done is poured. So you need a nice jar like this. Make sure everything's clean. So I have poured the liquid, which looks like that.
Yep.
Into here, and the only thing you need to do is get a probiotic, and this one's dairy free.
Good.
To go with the whole thing, and
open it up.
Open it.
Even I can do that.
Put it in there. Yeah, very, very easy.
And so you leave that to ferment on your bench? You don't put it in a fridge or anything like that?
No, you need room temperature, even slightly warm if you can. So in the hot water cupboard is always nice.
Wow. And how long do you leave it?
If it's a warm environment, probably about 24 hours will be enough. But if it's still like wintry and you're leaving it on your bench, I'd say 48 hours.
That is amazing.
And it's going to turn a white color as well. So you know it's done when it's white and it's bubbly.
Excellent. So there you go. And nice and easy to make. So that's going to be great for you. It's going to taste good as well.
I always call it like a raw champagne.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's nicely served in the champagne glass. You can put some strawberries in there. And
perfect. Yeah. It sounds great. Yeah. I like it a lot.
Yeah, so that's just going to do its thing on the bench for 2 days.
And then the coconut yogurt.
Yes. So the coconut yogurt, when you buy it in the supermarket, hasn't been made from coconut milk. And that, again, has been processed. Wow. So you get a very different flavor as well. I mean, if you know what coconut milk tastes like, you're actually just having that with thickened, coconut milk with the probiotic in it. However, I find that coconut meat straight from the coconut has such a different flavor, and it's so clean and pure, and it's not overwhelming. I'm not sure if you've tried coconut yogurt from the supermarket, but it's really heavy, and you can't.
It is very thick.
Yeah. It's
you just want a tablespoon and you're done.
yeah, exactly. But this is a little lighter. So coconut meat from the coconuts, and you just put it straight into a blender, and then
you blend it. Add your probiotic.
Yeah.
I never thought of doing anything like that, adding those condensed nutrients, as Lynette would call it, into your food. That's such a genius idea.
Yeah, and it's so simple and easy, and you can just keep them going. And that's another thing actually about coconut kefir. You can make one batch, and then you save a little bit, about that much from each batch, and then you can use that to start your new one. So your money goes a lot further because you're using the mother or the starter of, it's like sourdough. You know, you can just keep using. Yeah,
this just keeps on going and going.
Times, yeah. So that saves you money there as well.
That's great.
You just need to invest in the probiotics. But I'm just saving a little bit of coconut water to help blend it. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there to get it going. And it's going to be loud for a second.
Okay. I'd be interested to know how many of you would love to try this recipe as well. Because you can go. Go for it. And how if you would try it, I think we need to switch it on at the wall. If you would give it a go, and if so, we'd love to know what the flavour's like for you if you want to try it over the next week. We love hearing from you here at the show. It's great to have you guys with us and part of the community. So the first thing I have to tell you is the smell is beautiful. It's very aromatic and delicious. Oh yeah, that's great. That is really nice.
So that is like the consistency of coconut milk, right? So you just pour that into your jar.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and leave that on the bench for 2 days as well, and it will ferment. It'll get a little bit of a tang to it, and it's just, you know exactly what's in there. It's
so
fresh.
then after 2 days, would you store it in the fridge?
Yes. So once it's fermented, you put it in the fridge. Otherwise, it'll just keep fermenting. And it still does slightly in the fridge as well, but very, very slowly. Yeah. So this is a base for so many things. You can put fruit. You can put chia seed jam in there. You can, do anything with that. And it's got two products out of one coconut.
One coconut.
Well, two of what made all that, but yeah.
Look, that's amazing. Amy, thank you for being in the kitchen with us today. I know you're going to join us on the couch in just a moment so we can talk a little bit more into gut health. Yeah. But I want to know what your thoughts are. It's a pretty exciting time here at the show where we get to help you on your journey with gut health. So if you want to know more, make sure you hop onto the news feed. Just trying to find the right screen here for you. Hop onto the news feed and be part of the conversation, because we want to know how we can work with you to find your way to wellness. Amy, thank you so much. Nice and easy recipe. That's what we love.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at what we've got coming up. First of all, we want to introduce you to the amazing work that the team at My Remedy do. Have you considered that symptoms may be the outward sign of something deeper and can just be the body's way of perhaps saying, help me? Have you considered that? The great news is that even small changes from the inside out, as we just found out from our chat with Amy Lynn, can affect your whole health outcome. So, are you ready to make some positive health changes? At My Remedy, the team of qualified and registered naturopaths are there to help you with any condition, and each has their specialty. This is Jo. She's a specialist in gut health. This is Jorge. His specialty is allergies, eczema and asthma, and featured in last week's episode. So if you want to know more, check out that show in our news feed. This is Lynette. She's a specialist in adrenal fatigue and immune conditions. This is Mike. His area of expertise is cardiovascular and men's health. Amy, who you've just met, is about optimal health through nutrition and naturopathic principles. And this is Kate, who's a registered homeopath. Stephanie talks to your mind. She's a clinical hypnotherapist. Because at My Remedy, then registered homeopaths and hypnotherapists are there to help you with the deepest challenges to your health, whether it's your beliefs, fears, habits, or behaviour. So if you're ready to create better health for you and your family, try a different approach. Visit myremedy.co.nz or give them a call, 09 486 2175. My Remedy, It's your remedy. Right, we're back on the couch, a big shift around. And look, it's an exciting time. We've been in the kitchen. We're talking about gut health. So if you have just joined us tonight, welcome. We're in the Your Fix TV show. I'm Monique Bradley for Your Fix TV. Lynette Hill from My Remedy. And Amy Lynn also from My Remedy. Look, I'm just having a look. There's some great questions coming through. Good, so I thought it's a good time to have a look at the news feed. Thanks all for being part of the conversation. Jane Wan said, I hate coconut. Is there anything else? A great question.
That is a good question. There's more people out there that don't like coconuts than I think, actually. There's sauerkraut. There's kimchi. You can ferment. You can make your own gingered carrots and stuff like that. So many
gingered carrots.
Things. Yeah. So because vegetables actually carry a small amount of bacteria on them, which is what the probiotics love. So when you put the probiotics with those types of food, it eats it and turns it into something good and digestible and full of goodness.
Oh, we love that.
So carrot yogurt.
Carrot yogurt. I love that.
Floating my boat.
Why not?
Now, Joanna Vincent just said, can you flavour it?
The coconut
yogurt.
Of course, yeah.
What can you put in there? Serving suggestions?
You can put fruit in it. You can put vanilla in it. You can put a dash of maple syrup if you need a little bit of sweet in there.
Pineapple.
Yeah, all sorts. You just be the creator. You can put whatever you want.
And you could go savoury with it too, couldn't you? So you could put it in a soup or something.
You can.
Sort of
savoury. Absolutely. You can add any ginger to it. Just got to get creative. Yeah, it's a base for so many things that you can use for vegan creams.
Of course. Amazing. Now, I've just had, this is so good. Great to see your questions, everybody. Raja Chetan, who is amazing, he watches all of our shows. He's actually over in Kashmir in India. Now, he was part of the conversation last week when we were talking about the effects of stress on the gut. Now, Raja just said raw food diet was amazing. Only thing going on the gas stove was chicken to be boiled or eggs. Rest was all nuts. Fruit salad, soya chunks, sprouts, a lot less salt. I felt amazing. And he's losing my weight. His skin changed. It started becoming clean and no sugar at all. And apparently he had puffy cheeks and his puffy cheeks went. Yeah. And that's through a raw food diet.
Yeah. It's amazing the results that people get from changing their diet. It's just amazing.
Okay,
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
It gives the body a break, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It says it's not so hard. Let's just have a break. We get what we need without all that extra inflammation in the body.
Exactly. Yeah, because we're so used to just having food so readily available. Processed foods, sugar, and actually...
I wonder how many people actually know how it feels to not feel bloated and inflamed, because a lot of our diets start with those really inflammatory foods from a really young age, and it's quite hard to turn the clock back, particularly for teenagers. Hey, no, let's not eat this, let's eat raw foods. So, the more that we can start eating in those good ways and having more raw foods as a normal part of our diet, the easier it's going to be for optimal health into the long term.
Yeah. And it's not just about raw food either. Like, you can have, raw vegan diet as well. And I'm not necessarily saying that's the right and only way to go, but it does give the digestion a little bit of a break as well when you just...
Even for a moment.
Yeah.
I noticed some changes happened to me when I was in my late teens, actually. I didn't used to eat vegetables at all when I was a kid.
I think that's pretty common.
I know, and there's probably a lot of parents who are out there going, I hear you. But I was that problem child, and my mother actually, and I noticed some of our Indian friends are watching. Thank you, it's awesome to see you here. My mother started Indian cookery to learn how to make delicious food.
To learn how to hide food.
To hide food, which was loaded with vegetables and nutrition. So aloo gobi was the first dish I ate that had potatoes and cauliflower.
And peas?
No, you're probably thinking of like mutton paneer.
Yes. I'm always thinking of food. and the thing is, it's not all about raw food. You don't need to go out and actually, become squirrel and rabbit-like. You can cook your food. It's about whole food and real food, so that when you look at your plate, you go, well, that's, that was meat and it is meat now, or that is a vegetable, and it's not just something that we unpeeled and went and what on earth is that food-like stuff on my plate?
Such a good point.
And I'd like to add to that as a lot of times today, people are like on their phone while they're eating, or they're not sitting down and just actually resting while they're eating. They're always on the go, which can cause digestive issues as well.
Yes,
so they're like in a hurry. So it's like a combination of being mindful when you're eating or just shutting everything off.
We talked about that last week about having an actual lunch break. How often do we actually do that?
Yeah.
Or are we trapped to our computers? Great questions coming back. Oh, hello, Andy Crawford, who's just joined tonight's show. Lovely to have you with us. Danielle Kelly said, so awesome. Thanks for sharing about that recipe. Wonderful. Christopher Hill said, what are your thoughts on adding birch xylitol to the yogurt? It's been shown to have prebiotic effects, like feeding the friendly bacteria in the gut. Seems like they go hand in hand.
Well, you can. Why not?
Okay, there you go.
Hi, Chris.
I'm not a big fan of xylitol, but it's better than sugar. So if you want to do that, that's fine. I would recommend maple syrup over anything because I'm Canadian. But actually, there is nutrition in maple syrup. So if you're going to choose something sweet, I would go for those options, like even date paste or maple syrup, even rice malt syrup people use. I'm also
There's a kumara paste that's now being produced by a company up in Orewa. Kumara paste would probably be really nice.
Oh, kumara would be fantastic.
Sweet. Yeah, why not? Get creative with it. Yeah, yacon syrup as well has nutrition.
Oh wow.
Yeah, xylitol.
What about stevia?
Stevia is great. Yes, a lot of people can't even have any type of sweetness in their diet whatsoever, especially those who suffer from candida and stuff like that. So stevia comes in hand for that. It does get a bit of getting used to.
It does. And with that in mind, sometimes I wonder if it's best to retrain yourself back from sweetness. So rather than going, what more can I put in to make it sweet? Just maybe assess, do you need it to be that sweet? And pull back and pull back and pull back. You shouldn't really need it to be as sweet as stevia if you have an issue with that. When you can put something else in there, like the kumara paste, that sounds fantastic.
Fruit.
Yeah.
Now, Deanna Hawker, some hearts coming through. Lovely, thank you guys. Deanna Hawker just said, I have a lot of sinus issues. Currently sick right now and have no energy to eat healthy. How/what do you eat when you are already sick or have sinusitis?
Who wants to go? Shall we?
Liquid.
Yes.
Soups? Oh, she doesn't feel like making food.
But a soup is quite nice, and maybe someone could make it for you. So listening to yourself, but the biggest thing I would say is if you're not going to eat much, make sure what you do eat counts. So no inflammatory foods. So sugar out, wheat out, and probably dairy out. So those are the things that we know generally can cause inflammation. So eating those foods would be a bad idea if you've got mucus and inflammation. Things like broths and soups and casseroles and light, warming, soothing things, ginger, garlic,
turmeric,
vitamins, and herbs and lemon
and Crawford.
What was that?
And self-love.
Self-love.
It's true.
When you're sick, it's time to rest.
Actually, it's amazing the feedback that's coming. Joanna Vincent said, yes, rest and digest is another great one. She also suggested cacao might be a great way to add flavour to coconut, coconut yogurt.
People are getting creative.
And peppermint. You can go cacao and peppermint.
Okay. Yes,
and mint out of the garden, peppermint.
Of course. Yeah.
Miranda Sophie said, and raw food can be warm as well, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. If you keep it to a certain degree, like 45 degrees is probably the highest you'd want to go, then you keep your enzymes alive.
Perfect.
So that's the whole thing behind eating raw food and unprocessed.
Excellent.
Whole foods.
Deanna Hawker just said thank you, thank you, Deanna. And Miranda Sophie said yacon is a superfood, which is a bonus as well. And she said broths are also really good. Look, this is what we love about the show, is that you guys are all part of this conversation, and it's just
helping
awesome.
us.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, right?
It's really helpful. Keep helping us.
I know, thank you. But it's good to hear what you guys are eating and what works for you. So I really hope that does help you, Deanna, and wishing you a speedy recovery. So just getting back to tonight's topic, we are on the couch talking about gut health. Now, the reason that you're both here is really because you've both been on that journey with Power Clinic. So, you know, you're a graduate of Power Clinic, you're now an instructor there or a tutor at Power Clinic. Supervisor. And I know that there's a lot of people who didn't even know that the Power Clinic exists. So just very quickly, let's tell people about the amazing care they can get there.
Absolutely. Huge shout out to the Power Clinic. It's a clinic that's been set up as a teaching clinic. So, you know, the teachers are there supervising the students, but the students need people to come and see them. And so it's pretty cool because we've got a full dispensary there, and it's, you know, the latest and greatest research goes into the clinic. And the children are free, as are the senior citizens, and everybody else in between is highly, highly subsidised. So you're going to get fantastic people like Amy coming and talking to you, finding out what's going on and bringing all of her knowledge to help you. So I can't talk highly enough about the Power Clinic.
Oh, neither can I. And everything is completely supervised as well, so you know you're in good hands. You know, the students are very well trained and educated. And looked after, and even through the tough moments, the tutors are always there.
Wiping away their tears,
It's
making them lemon ginger tea.
Perfect. No, that's what we love.
It's a good team there, and everyone looks after each other. And Power Clinic is really good.
Yeah,
I think it's such a vital part of what natural medicine is doing. It's reaching out into the community and saying, this is really normal. Why wouldn't you come in here and learn how to be healthy? Or, you know, if your child's constantly sick, maybe there's something other than medicating the sickness we can do to lift that child up and get them more healthy. So it's a really good place.
Amazing place. So before we go, I just want to touch on finally what this month's topic is really about, and it is about gut health. And we love having you part of that conversation. But finally, I want to sum up with, what is the gut and what actually is gut health all about? Because you've got this great analogy you were telling me about a wall, right?
Yes, I try and talk in pictures because I'm dealing with a lot of people and I'm saying a lot of stuff all the time.
Yes.
And I find the one that really resounds is when I talk about the gut as a wall, because there's a couple of ways of looking at it. You can think of it as a balloon. So you know a balloon is holding all the air in, but we know that eventually the air is coming to the outside and passing through that membrane. It's a permeable membrane, and you find the floppy balloon sitting on the floor a few days later. That's like a leaky gut. It's like everything's going through.
Wow.
It's not falling apart. It hasn't got holes, but we know it's very permeable now. But I also like to look at the gut like a wall, because there are layers to the gut. So a lot of people come in and go, oh, well, I tried probiotics and I cut gluten out, it's a load of rubbish, I've still got bloating. And that might be because your gut wall is more damaged than you think. So a leaky gut or a dysbiotic gut would be like going into an old flat and you find this wall and it's got black mold on it and wallpaper hanging off, and it really is pretty disgusting. Now, if you're just going to paint it with probiotics, just go paint over that, it's going to look a bit better, it's going to feel a bit better for a moment until that mold comes through again. So we like to work on the muscular layer, and we might use some specific nutrients, which I can't say here, but there are specific nutrients that we use to really enforce the muscular layer. There are nutrients that the middle layer have, and that's to do with your digestive enzymes and all those globular cells that we have in there. And there's also the skin. So we have a skin on the outside and we have a skin on the inside, and we really need to take care of that skin.
Wow.
So we need to peel things back, weed and seed, peel it off, fix it up, put some jib stop in there. Then we might need to put some sealant on, and that might be some digestive enzymes and some, prebiotics, which you've just been showing us tonight. And then finally, when all the work's done, we put some paint on there with the probiotics. And of course, we need to maybe take some things out. Like if you've got something rubbing up against that wall that's irritating it, you take that out. You don't keep eating that. So that's it.
So that's
pretty
how the gut
simple.
works.
Well, that's sort of how it's made and how we heal it.
Wow.
Yeah. Even when you say gut instinct,
Yes, of course.
even emotions, everything is a lot going on in there. So that's actually a really good analogy, though.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot
You
going
can
on.
use that.
I think I might.
Yes, actually, Miranda Sophie just said, great analogy. Romina Masidra Lily, hola, chica, ¿cómo estás? She just said, awesome program. Thank you. Thank you to be with us. Jessie Fletcher just said, go Lynette, you are amazing.
Hey, Jessie.
Sarah Hannah just said, do you think fermented foods aid in gut health, and what would you recommend? A good question.
Well, yes. As we were saying before, all these little 1%ers add up. So if you're having a bit of, probiotics and fermented foods in other ways, you're helping it. But like Lynette said, it's almost sometimes you have to strip it all and then start again. Depends what level where you're at with your digestion.
Which layer you're on the ladder.
Exactly.
If you're wobbling around, you're going to do some work. If you're just at the bottom, maybe just changing your diet and adding
tweaking
in some
a few
things.
Yeah,
right.
These different levels.
Do it yourself.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Jane Wan also said, any ideas for bloating?
So
that's a big one.
Don't Google it. Stop Googling stuff. You need to see a professional,
There's
right?
a lot of reasons why you could be bloated. Like, it's best to come and see one of us in person, and we can go over history and see what's really going on.
Because bloating is a outward sign of something going on the inside. So by the time unless it's just, you had too many lentils tonight and you've gone. But if it's constant every day and you've already maybe looked at different foods and maybe taken a probiotic already and you've still got it, that's when a naturopath particularly is very, very set up. We're all about gut health. So, save some time and probably save some money and go and see an expert who's going to be able to take your history, like you say, and find out what could be causing it and then do some therapeutic support for you also.
I love it. Well, ladies, it's been an absolute pleasure having you both in the studio again tonight. And we love having you with us as well. It's great to see your questions. Keep firing them through. Whether you're watching on the Your Fix TV page or you're watching on the My Remedy official page there, keep sending questions through during the week. And if you do have any questions, particularly about gut health, that's what we'll address in our episode next week. So lock it in your diary, 7 p.m. Monday, New Zealand time. We're here with you. It's an interactive live show looking at bite-sized tips on how you can own your health. Now, if you want to find out more about Power Clinic and My Remedy, we've got the details here for you on the screen. Give Power Clinic a call. They have incredibly good rates. They have subsidised fees, and you can talk to the naturopaths in training who are in their final stages before they jump out into the world. There's their phone number and their website for the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. Over there on the right, if you want to have a chat with one of the beautiful team members from Lynette's team at My Remedy, give them a call, 09486 2175, or head to the myremedy.co.nz website to find out more. And a big thank you to South Pacific College of Natural Medicine for sponsoring our show. We love you guys. We actually do.
We
Not
love
even
you
kidding.
Very much.
So thank you. We're here from Your Fix TV. It's an honour to have you here. Keep checking out our other shows. Tuesday night, we're cooking with Ray McVinney. We do a whole bunch of things. And Monday night's all about you and your health. So thanks for watching. Now, please feel free to share the show or be part of the show. Send us your questions. Tell us, what do you want to see? Every month we focus on a different topic relating to your health. Share the show and make sure you visit the businesses or the websites of our partners. Because this is Health Bites, bite-sized pieces of health and wellness information so you can own your health. I'm Monique Bradley. Thanks to Lynette Hill and Amy Lynn from My Remedy. We'll see you next week.
See you later, Monique.
Bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Are you tired of feeling tired? Are you struggling with vitality and constantly feeling burnt out? Or does your body just not feel great? Join hosts Monique Bradley and advocate for natural medicine Lynette Hill from My Remedy as they explore the issues, interview industry professionals, and share bite-sized tips on how to own your health. It's Health Bites with tonight's special guest, Mike Ayres. Bite-sized pieces of health and wellness information so you can own your health. No mai, haere mai, welcome to the studio. It's Monique Bradley here. I am live at Your Fix TV, and on the couch I have advocate for natural medicine. This is Lynette Hill. Kia ora to you.
Hi, Monique.
Hi, welcome, welcome. Now, if this is your first time watching Health Bites, welcome to the show. We have a live show happening here in the studio. So what you're seeing is happening right here in the studio. You can actually message in because we're live. You can say hi. You can ask questions. And this week, we've got a very special focus. For the last 3 weeks, Lynette, we've been talking about something that's been really a big topic for you. And what's that topic about?
We've been talking about gut health with natural medicine practices. So we've had a big focus on IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, and leaky gut, and just the general bloating and discomfort that a lot of people, deal with every day in their life.
Excellent. Now, before we delve into gut health, because it is such a big topic, let me get this right. You're a registered naturopath.
Yes.
Owner and clinical director of My Remedy Clinic in Milford.
Correct.
Right? You're a public speaker.
Yes.
You're also a clinic supervisor, and that's at South Pacific College of Natural Medicine, is that right?
That's right. So that's our clinic in Ellerslie, and it's 8 Arthur Street. Someone was asking me, where is this clinic? So it's 8 Arthur Street, Ellerslie, and it's where our students develop their skills in their last year, and I supervise that before they come out. I'm one of a great team of supervisors.
Excellent. Now, I do have to welcome everybody on the Facebook page of South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. It's great to have you guys with us. And if during the broadcast, if you've got any questions at all, so what page you're watching on, whether it's on the My Remedy page, South Pacific College of Natural Medicine, or Your Fix TV, send us in your questions. We love to chat with you. So, Lynette, gut health. This has been a big month. What have you noticed, question-wise, that's been coming in from the people watching the show? Because there's been a lot of questions, right?
We've had a lot of questions of how natural medicine can help gut health, because I think a lot of people are just walking around with suboptimal gut health and thinking that that's just their normal. So we've had a lot of people saying, how did I get this? What do I do about it? What are the causes? Is this forever? That's a really big one. Is this forever?
I think the thing that I've taken from this news, from this chat, is the fact that so many people are living with these symptoms every day. And I think the link between stress and gut health, that mind-gut connection, has been a real big deal. And in fact, if any of you are watching and you've really struggled with that yourself, or you've noticed that perhaps your tummy has been feeling less than fabulous due to the effects of stress, let us know in the newsfeed. Send through some hearts or some thumbs and say, yes, I'm in that situation. I think what I've really noticed through the live chat, and this is one of the things we love about the show too, is that stomach problems and gut unhappiness is more common than we think. So we're talking about the symptoms of bloating, diarrhea. Obviously, we want to talk about that. Constipation is another thing.
That's right. And they're things that we don't usually run around talking about. Hey, how's your diarrhea today?
Unless you're me.
Well, unless you are Monique, and then you mention it 2 or 3 times. We are counting. We need a diarrhea.
We do.
But they're the sorts of things that, it's not on your face. It's not a growth. It's not a disease that someone says, oh, you poor thing, you've got that. It's just general discomfort. And so many of us are waking up with it, going to bed with it, walking around with it. So it's just kind of it's an under the rug illness.
Right. And I guess if you're watching tonight's show, chances are you might be one of those people who are concerned about your gut health. You're like me, you've lived for the last 20 years with bloating, thinking that was normal. Somebody may have tagged you into tonight's show or invited you. And in fact, please do us a favor, please help out and share tonight's show as well, because the information we've got to share with you truly is amazing. And we can't wait for you to hear that your pathway to wellness is perhaps easier than you think?
It's really easy. First thing you need to realize is that, you know, those feelings are not normal and that you can actually do better than that.
Wow, amazing. So we've got some big questions that I want to start the show with. First of all, Lynette, what is natural medicine?
So natural medicine, well, I'm a registered naturopath, which means I have a degree, a Bachelor of Natural Medicine. I did that through the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. So I've been trained to look at the body and symptoms holistically. So we look at the whole person, we look at the mental aspects, physical aspects, the emotional aspects. So what are the things behind the illness? Not just you've got this illness, but what's behind that? Is it stress? Is it diet? We work only with natural medicines, and only if they're needed. We'd far rather get it through diet and lifestyle, but it really depends. Are you coming to us for health advice to stay well, or are you already slipping a little bit and needing some therapeutic support?
Gotcha. So we've been talking for this is week 3, talking about gut health. Just for people who are watching for the first time, what does gut health actually mean, and why is it important?
Gut health means, is it working properly? Is it healthy? So the gut is an enormous organ. It basically goes from your mouth to your backside, and it's got a whole lot of skin in there and a whole lot of functionality. It joins to all of our digestive organs. So if we've got any single part of that not right, even from our our oral health in our mouth right through to our backside, if any of that's not working, we have dis-ease. So as a naturopath, we tend to focus on the gut first, because a lot of our immune response comes from our gut, some from our blood, but mostly from our gut. So if that's not healthy, so if the food that's going in is not healthy, or if we've had some medical treatment that's left some, issues, particularly antibiotics. Everyone knows.
Yes, of course, yes.
They impact the gut health. So that's why we start with gut health and we sort that first.
Gotcha. Well, I hope that's made that nice and clear for everybody. I know that's something that's really affected me. I've had problems with my gut for longer than I can remember. Thinking I had this, I would Google that and find out actually no. There are simple reasons behind what's going on in your body. It could be as simple as an intolerance or an allergy or something else.
And that's what a naturopath or a herbalist is actually trained to do. So we're trained to go, we know what the symptoms are and we know what our limits are also.
Yes.
But we also know what some of those basic therapeutics that can get underneath and improve the situation, or which foods might be likely to be causing that. So we can save a lot of time and effort trawling on Google and whipping things out of your diet that you actually needed, and not realizing that if you put some water in, that might change your bowel consistency. Just the basics.
Yeah. And another common thing that we've heard, and I'm sure you probably hear this in your clinic, people saying, but I eat well, why don't I feel well?
And that hooks into the whole mind-body thing, and we've been really prompted over the last couple of weeks about the brain and the gut. So there's a couple of reasons. It might be the food you're eating.
Right.
Food might be rubbish, so you probably feel like rubbish if you eat it. Maybe in the short term you feel good. It could be that your gut's not working particularly well, so you may have had a gastro bug that you're never right from, and you're never right till you do something for that. You may have had some medication you haven't been right since. Or it might be as simple as, I'm so stressed, I don't digest. That's a really big one.
That's a really good, very good point. Now, just noticed on the newsfeed, Andy Crawford, who is watching, and Andy's been watching the last couple of shows, just said, ready and waiting. Have a great night, ladies.
Awesome. Hi, Andy.
Thank you, Andy. Great to have you on the show. Now, before we delve into some of the bigger topics tonight, I do have to put in the legal disclaimer as well.
Yes,
so we'll just head to that screen right now. Here we go. Now, just to let you know, this show is not here to give you a diagnosis. It's here to inform you about the options available and to allow you to ask questions about those options. We will not and cannot give you specific medical advice or diagnose disease. And it's important that if you do have any medical concerns, please contact your medical professional. Now, the reason we had to put that in there, as we do every week, is that we're going to be talking about some really big pretty contentious topics as well, I have to say.
Absolutely.
Because I know that there are a lot of people, particularly friends and family of my own, who are currently living with symptoms of that we might term as IBS. So I thought the first thing we should do tonight, Lynette, is let's talk about what actually is IBS.
Okay, so IBS is a acronym for irritable bowel syndrome, and it's a disorder defined by broad range of discomfort and changes in bowel habits. So you'll be noticing things like bloating, you might have some abdominal pain, there may be excessive flatulence or gas, maybe some diarrhea, constipation, or alternation of both. It's just, you just don't feel quite so good in your gut, and it's not just once from something you ate, it's more often than that.
So this is a very good point. Is IBS classified as a disease, or is it classified as like an allergic reaction or an intolerance, or how would you frame that?
It's got the word syndrome in it, which means it's a bunch of stuff. It's not a specific disease, but it's common enough to make it a syndrome. So there's enough people going for medical help to go, I've got bloating, I've got constipation, and you feedback, great, you've got IBS. Brilliant, I've got irritable bowel syndrome. But that is still just a list of symptoms.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's just a list of symptoms that you now fall into. You qualify for that. So IBS is that bunch of symptoms, or some of them quite often. And you know, it's not a disease. So we know that maybe diet and lifestyle will help it. And, you know, if it's a little bit more advanced, some therapeutic help, you know, may benefit you.
Yes, I was just going to say along that line. So you've got this diagnosis of IBS. What next? Because a diagnosis isn't a cure, right?
No. Knowing you have something doesn't make it go away.
No, I wish it did.
So what you need to think about is, when didn't I have it? Because we don't usually start with it. It usually develops. And think, what's changed? So if you've suddenly become, you know, I eat pizza every night and lots and lots of Coca-Cola and stuff like that, maybe taking those things out of your diet's a really good idea, and you might find that your IBS disappears. And you do need to look at your life and see what changes you can come up with, because it's your responsibility, your body. But often you've done that, and you're maybe a bit more developed, and you've tried some probiotics, and you've, you know, knocked out gluten and dairy, but you still have those symptoms. Usually they've gone away and you've gone, eureka, it was gluten.
It was great. Yeah.
And then 3 weeks later it's the next thing. Now it's potatoes. So
wow, what do you do in that situation? You just have to keep going through elimination?
Well, you can try working it out yourself, or like I said last week, you know, if your car has a sign flashing, you go to a mechanic. If your body's got a sign flashing, I would be going at the very least to a health store with a naturopath or a herbalist in store. Or if you really need to screw down into it, spend an hour with a naturopath and find out what's going on, and they'll then also give you a plan to lead you out of that.
Great. So if it is some sort of intolerance, could it perhaps be because your whole system is upset and it's been living in that intolerant, inflamed state for such a long time? Is IBS reversible?
I believe it is, because it's a bunch of symptoms, and if those mostly, there may be, not everything's reversible, and it's up to how much work you're going to do as well. But if it's that your flora is imbalanced and you've got too much of the bad bacteria, not enough of the good, then we put good bacteria in. As a naturopath, I might look at doing some what we call weed seed feed. So get rid of the rubbish, put in maybe some prebiotics, and then throw the probiotics in later, looking at the diet. So that would turn those gut symptoms around. You still need to maintain that though. Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's what we're doing for ourselves, to ourselves, and you know, it's not disease, so therefore it is something that we can usually turn around.
We can work away at. Look, if you are sitting at home and you're watching, or sitting in your car watching on your phone, or wherever you're watching, if any of this is resonating with you, please feel free to message in during the stream, because we are live right here. And in fact, some of these questions I'm throwing at Lynette, she doesn't even know I'm throwing at her tonight.
Curly ones.
Yes, some good ones. But it is an opportunity for you, if you are sitting with those symptoms, to ask the expert expert. That's what the show is all about. I'm just having a quick look at the news feed just to make sure we've got everybody's questions sorted. Miranda Sophie just said hello and just said health is a process.
That's right. It's a total process, and it takes us quite a while to get to the point of dis-ease. I call it dis-ease as opposed to disease. So disease is, you know, you've got something really sick, but dis-ease means I don't feel good anymore. So it takes us a while to get there, and then it generally takes a little while to back the car up and get back to good health as well.
Right. Now, a couple of shout outs to LBK Hura is watching the show tonight. Kia ora to you. And also Andy Crawford just said, but I've had bowel issues since I was around 4. Parents used to have to use suppositories on me, and I've always had bad swollen tummy aches. They had no idea.
So no, and parents, I mean, gosh, all parents go through that stage of feeling really guilty about raising their children. And if my boys are out there, sorry, wish I'd never introduced wheat. But so with a wee 4-year-old who has had problems since 4 years old, some of the things we might consider are fluids. Is there actually enough fluid getting to the bowel? Yeah, we don't know what kind of birth, if it was a vaginal natural birth or if it was cesarean, and the difference in the bacteria through those 2 birth methods is significant. We don't know maybe if this child was breastfed or bottle fed, and if there was an intolerance. So when we work with children, we're really delving into information from mum and dad, and, you know, did mum have any issues, and what was going on through the pregnancy, and what's your diet. So there's often clues, but it's so hard to work it out when you're trying to actually bring this child up and they're in pain. And you know, what I'd be looking at in that case is that child's bowel working properly? What would we do to sort that one out?
So Andy, thank you for sharing that.
Good
and
question.
I hope, great, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
And I hope that brings you a little bit of peace. Or Andy just said, I was always drinking copious amounts of water and still do to this day, as I've had kidney issues as well.
So there you go. So there's definitely a fluid balance issue in there, and it might be worth talking to someone about hydrating. So you can drink a lot of water and not be fully hydrated.
Wow,
that's another. But
it's a whole other episode.
Hydration is really important, and fibre and all of that.
Awesome. And Miranda Sophie said dis-ease and a winky face, like that, like wink.
Like
so
that.
It's a good
dis-ease. You can use that, Miranda.
Yeah. So for somebody like me, I've got a bit of a question, because I've really struggled with symptoms of IBS for most of my adult life. And I want to know, I've also struggled with my weight.
Right.
So even though, and I feel like we're friends, so I will be frank and we'll be honest, I've really struggled. Probably twice a week from my IBS, I would have diarrhea. And I feel like I'm okay with talking with you guys about this. Kia ora, whānau. And why is it that the amount of diarrhea I've had, why have I not lost heaps of weight? Why have I just got bigger and bigger and bigger? I know you're not allowed to diagnose on the show.
Well, a lot of weight is about inflammation, and also if there's dysbiosis and leaky gut, I bet you went up a size through the day. So how much of that weight is fluid and bloating and inflammation as opposed to fats? But also, if we are not digesting well, then we tend to store fats rather than process them.
Wow.
And the diarrhea, since you continue to bring this up, you're determined to talk about it tonight. As much
as possible.
It's a really interesting thing. Did you notice that you could be slightly constipated for most of the week and then explosion the next?
Yeah.
So that can, even that little thing is a sign to me that you might have a dry bowel. Okay, and your liver's getting involved now to let's shoot some bile down there and get this out so that we keep the tubes clear. So our bodies are really good at compensating. Yeah, I mean, your body is it's not going to stay bunged up. It's got ways and means. It's
got exit strategies.
And yours are fairly significant.
I know, right? Okay, so we've touched on IBS. If any of this has resonated for you guys watching, wherever you're watching, please let us know. I know we just had a message in from Raja, who just said, does smoking add to the gut problem further? Hi, Raja, over in Kashmir in India. Namaste. Does smoking contribute?
Well, smoking contributes to everything. It's really interesting. Now, I may have some of my facts wrong because it's been a long time since I read my notes, but nicotine is one of those chemicals that can actually cause the tight junctions in cells to loosen. So it actually breaks tissue down. So if it means breaking tissue down in the lungs, it's a really good idea not to smoke. So it can break tissues down anywhere. It's also a pollutant, so our body is inflamed with a pollutant. Any inflammation is going to impact on our gut. A lot of people smoke for a lot of different reasons, and if one of them is stress, that also is really inflammatory. So we just can't say to someone, just stop smoking. We need to find out what's the story and why they're doing it and what it means and all about it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Raja, I hope that's helped. Also, Andy Crawford has just messaged in with a technical message for our producer tonight, who said, just a word, I can't hear the feed when typing and cannot see any other messages from others. Andy, it won't be from our end. It may be a technical thing happening from your end, or it could be your internet. There you go, solving problems all night.
And you've got different feeds as well, so some of those messages are coming on other feeds.
Yes, totally. Right, so we've delved into IBS. So we've kind of talked around that. What's the next thing? We're looking at IBD. Now, I haven't heard of this term before. What is IBD?
So even though the two first letters look the same, they're very, very different disorders. So as opposed to irritable bowel, which is a bit uncomfortable and not that nice, IBD is inflammatory bowel disease. This is confirmed disease. And it's generally a long-term chronic disorder. It involves inflammation, and it's an autoimmune condition.
Right.
So it's inflammation that may originally be triggered by an infection, but then the body continues that inflammation, and it can even turn on itself. So the immune cells, they started working on infection's gone, and they just keep working on you. So it's a real a disease that breaks tissue down. It's very, very serious.
Wow, that's incredible. So in that situation, it's more than just an allergy, it's more than just an intolerance. Is that correct?
Absolutely. There is usually allergy and intolerance sitting around the edges of IBD, because as you become more and more inflamed, you become more sensitive to things, and the body will start flagging things. For example, celiac disease. Now that's it is an autoimmune condition, but it's gluten that will trigger that reaction.
Right.
So with someone with IBS, they'll eat gluten, they'll get bloating, maybe a bit of constipation. Someone with celiac disease, which is a autoimmune disease, that will actually poison their system, and they'll have an allergy, and the impact on that is huge for them.
Yes.
It poisons them.
Oh, that's incredible. I'm glad we've had that distinction made clear, because IBD is a new term to me, but hearing that distinction now, I actually understand. Thanks for that, Lynette.
And I really like to reach out to the public. And if someone says to you, I've got celiac disease, I can't have gluten, don't laugh that off and think, well, it's just, a little bit of gluten, it won't hurt them. If you have celiac disease and you are very reactive, and you go to a restaurant and you tell them, I've got celiac disease, you cannot give me any gluten, and they cut your gluten-free bread on a board that real bread, wheat bread, has been on with a knife that has cut the wheat bread, that person is going to have an inflammatory reaction, which is not going to ruin their night, but their next day. It could put them back 2 or 3 weeks in their health. So it's a very serious condition.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that as well. That's incredible. Now, a message in from LBK Hura, kia ora. What about hyperactive adrenal glands? How does that contribute to, say, symptoms of IBS?
It contributes to any symptom of any dysfunction. So if you are pumped up with adrenaline, that's a steroid rocking through your system, which is an inflammatory response, just all on its own. And it also interferes with digestion. So you've got an inflammatory response and digestion that's not happening perfectly. So, being adrenal is not ideal for any kind of gut health.
No, certainly not. So when I actually first met Lynette, actually started first working on my own health with her, which was more recently actually, my own health. One of the first things she did was actually look at what my adrenal glands were doing, and then said, you might want to try this, which was a great product to just give my adrenal glands some support. And it's been amazing seeing the change in that, then making some dietary changes. I'm now 13 days into a slightly altered diet. I've lost 3 kilos in weight. No more symptoms of IBS.
Good. Just by settling the farm down.
It was a calm the farm.
Calm the farm.
Hey, so I hope that helps, Albie. We've got something really interesting to look at now. Now, this is one of the tools that you use to look at things like leaky gut, IBS, IBD, see what's going on in the body, and it's a thing called HemoView. Is that right?
That's right.
So what happens in that process?
So with HemoView, it's a dark field microscope, and we just take one little pinprick of blood, and it's not a diagnostic tool, but it's something that we go, it's a little bit like a report card on how your blood's looking right now. So in the picture you can see there, I think we showed it last time as well, right in the middle with the yellow line through it is platelet aggregation, and that's quite a large aggregation. So when we see that, we would know that this person, if they were coming in with IBD, was probably in the middle of a flare. You know, there is irritation, there is inflammation right now, and it's quite significant. It's about as significant as it gets. Wow. And there'll be other things in there as well, like there'll be, you know, issues around some of the red blood cells being low in iron. Some of those cells are just a little bit small. So we use HemoView to sort of assess where we're at, and then we can keep an eye on inflammatory markers, and is that reducing, is that getting worse? And it just helps us as an additional tool when we're trying to steer somebody through and out of inflammation, because that's really our focus, is inflammation.
Gotcha. That's amazing. Thanks, Lynette. That's really cool. Well, it's not cool for the person who's suffering with inflammation.
I'm sure that person feels better now.
Yes, excellent. Now, interesting, Jane Wands just said, just take Metamucil. It's a life-changing product.
It can be really good for some people. I can't advocate that though, because for some people, Metamucil could be very, very damaging. So again, if you're in IBS, it can be a fantastic, here's the fibre, and this is just what I need, and a big glass of water that goes with it, which in my opinion is equally as important as fibre. But if you have IBD, then I would say, no, not until you've got professional help and we know that you actually can tolerate something like that.
So Jane just said, it works wonders for me, and the doctor said it's one product which is safe. So
well,
cool.
That is fantastic.
That's what we love to hear. That's what the show's about.
And I think too, Mike's going to come on shortly and just confirm, was it Jane?
Yes, Jane.
Yeah, what Jane was saying, that with IBD or serious IBS, it's not always the things that you think would be good or bad. It's very, very personalised, but a lot of people do find just putting that good fibre in is all they need.
Now, over on the My Remedy page, oh no, it's actually on Your Fix. Somebody from the My Remedy team has just commented before saying that HemoView is a really helpful tool, and Andy Crawford just supported that by saying, yes, I was fascinated watching the blood platelets moving about. It's a cool tool.
Oh, it is.
Great for diagnosis.
Well, no, we don't diagnose on it.
That's true.
We're naturopaths. We can't diagnose anything. We can work with diagnosed disease, fantastic, but we always spend a lot of time getting our own mental picture of what's going on with a really good health history. But what HemoView does is it confirms. So someone might be telling me all of this stuff and I'm thinking, yikes, you know, what's it going to look like? And actually they're just a little bit inflamed and not too bad with iron. So we know that their diet is working really well for them. Or we might see some real nutritional deficiencies and know, you know, you're probably a lot worse on the inside than you're letting on here. And we can see that there's usually no surprises with HemoView. Most people look at the blood and hear our explanation and go, yeah, that sounds pretty much spot on.
And I'm glad you've made that clarification around, you know, working it out as opposed to diagnosis.
Oh, absolutely.
That's really important to know
diagnosis
as well.
is for your doctor to do, and we love it when you've been to a doctor and they have diagnosed something, because then we know where to start.
Excellent. Now, My Remedy just did a waving hand and said, it's me, guys, it's Jo.
Hey, Jo.
And Andy Crawford said, hi, Karen. Hi, Karen also. Miranda Sophie said, what about worms?
Oh, Miranda.
You're under the grill tonight, aren't you? You're doing well.
Yeah, having parasites is not great. I mean, we actually, a little bit like the world needs flies, we all have bacteria and parasites in parts of our body that we don't even want to think about. If you have worms to the point where you have symptoms of them, bloating, excessive sugar, itchy bottom, usually into diarrhea. So it's a good idea to know. Yeah, there it is again.
I said it again.
It's a good idea to do something with a focus on antiparasitic herbs, or see if by doing that the symptoms go. And if they do, then you probably had worms.
Okay, perfect.
If they don't, you've probably got something else going on.
There you go. Thank you, Miranda.
And picking children, picking their nose, worms.
So Karen Tanya Dooney just said hi.
Hi, Karen.
And Miranda Sophie said bruxism too. Bruxism.
Oh, Miranda.
She's being very picky tonight, isn't she?
I will personal message you.
Yes, and LBK Huda just said snakes. I know that his wife Nicole used to call them snakes in your bum.
Oh, that's horrendous.
When she was just little.
That is horrendous.
Right, moving right along.
Away from worms.
Away from worms. Now, we do have to move into the health ladder. Now, this is something that you've put together, which is kind of your philosophy around health. And if you are watching the show for the first time, the health ladder has really become a staple part when it comes to your journey to wellness. So let's take a quick look through the health ladder just so you can get your eyes around it, get your head around it, and see where you sit on the health ladder on your journey to wellness. Right.
Cool. So as a naturopath, we want your feet to be firmly on the ground. So really easy to stay healthy. You've got, decent diet, lifestyle, your relationships are good, and it's not hard to digest your food and, be happy and healthy. Then the next level up for me is just a wee bit suboptimal. You might be starting to notice a bit of bloating or some kind of conditions happening, and you might be starting to Google and think about foods. And this is where I use condensed nutrients. So probiotics, maybe some B vitamins or something to see if it makes a difference in how you're feeling. The next area is what we're talking about pretty much with IBS and maybe some early disease. So you're starting to get a bit wobbly, it's getting, clinging onto that ladder a little bit, and your symptoms are more chronic. They're there all the time. So we want you to, at this point, go, enough is enough, go and see a healthcare professional. So we fit into there as naturopaths, herbalists, chiropractors, acupuncture, your doctor. All of these people are here to see if they can make a difference at this level.
Excellent.
Tonight, this is where we're going, unfortunately. We're going right to the top of the ladder where you're swinging around and you're feeling really uneasy and not safe. And this is where you have diagnosed disease. So tonight we're going to be talking about IBD, and that means something's happening. You're probably needing medication right now, but we can also help you, support you at that level to bring you down the ladder a little bit.
Right. So I know in my instance, I was really living with symptoms when I actually started working with you. So thank you. I feel like my feet are much more firmly on the ground. Excellent. And if you're watching and any of this has resonated with you, please make sure that you send in a message or get in touch with Lynette. Or if you're based here in Auckland and you want to go and perhaps see the people at South Pacific College of Natural Medicine, their power clinic is fantastic at supporting you through your health, and you're also supporting students in the end part of their own journey to become practitioners. Is that right?
Yeah, to make more people like me, to help people like you.
So let's take a look. Speaking of which, we're just going to have a quick break. But in the meantime, we're going to actually tell you a little bit about My Remedy before we bring in our special guest this evening, Mike Ayres, who's going to talk to you a little bit about his own journey with IBD. So let's take a look at My Remedy. Have you ever considered that symptoms may be the outward sign of something deeper and can just be the body's way of saying, help me? Well, the great news is that even small changes from the inside out can affect your whole health outcome. So, are you ready to make positive changes? At My Remedy, the registered homeopaths and naturopaths are there to help you with any health condition, and each has their specialty. This is Joe, who's a specialist in gut health and gut disorders. Jorge, allergies, eczema and asthma. Lynette, adrenal fatigue and immune conditions. Mike, cardiovascular and men's health. Amy, optimal health through nutrition and naturopathic principles. Kate is a registered homeopath. Stephanie is their clinical hypnotherapist, and both of those two ladies are there to help you with the deepest challenges to your health, your beliefs, fears, habits, and behaviours. So, if you're ready to create better health for you and your family, try a different approach. Visit myremedy.co.nz, or you can give them a call 09 486 2175. My Remedy, it's your remedy. Well, we are here in the Your Fix studio and we're talking about gut health this week. This is week 3 of our gut health transformational mindset, I'd like to call it, because we really are talking about something different when it comes to gut health. And Lynette, you've brought a special guest into the studio tonight.
I have. I've brought my colleague Mike Ayres. Hi, Mike. Welcome.
Hi. Good evening. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I can't wait to talk to you. So Mike is a registered naturopath and medical herbalist.
And a retired winemaker.
Which I just found out. How did I not know that?
I keep it kind of
on the down.
Oh, well, we know now, so that's good. I like wine. So Mike is a really, he's quite passionate about all things health and getting to the bottom of things, and in particular men's health. So, he works a lot with men, and it's interesting, Mike, because we were talking earlier, and you would think that we both came from different planets. What's the saying?
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, right?
That's right. Yeah. And you'd think we were completely different species under the skin, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we would. Yeah, and we see them present quite differently in clinic too.
So my understanding is that often, and I know from our audiences who watch these shows, often our audiences are mostly women when it comes to Health Bites. So women are doing more research. They're the first ones perhaps to hop on Dr. Google.
First sign of
bloating. That's
and
right.
They look for help.
And is this something you're seeing in the clinic as well, Mike?
So men are different. If we talk about the ladder, men seem to wait till they're further up before they go, what's going on here? So they tend to just, when we talk about living with symptoms, they'll live with symptoms for a long time.
Wow.
And sometimes it takes someone else to tell them, hey, have you thought about, talking to someone about this? Maybe go and get help. That's not normal.
Interesting. So they're more likely to be up in the upper end of symptoms on that health ladder or up in the diagnosed disease?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes we see them come to us after they've had that initial health scare. Their GP might have told them they're going to need to have medication. If it's cardiovascular health, that would probably be a statin, or their blood pressure's high.
Insurance gets men in the door, because suddenly they're like, oh, I've been eating all this rubbish and drinking all this alcohol and taking all these pills, and I need to go and get blood tests done, and I bet my liver's screaming, I bet I've got high cholesterol. So men will suddenly come running in the door and say, fix me, and then they go to the doctor.
Oh, very, very interesting.
Yeah, very sneaky men.
I want to know, I know we've written down here, what are the things that men are predominantly coming into the clinic for? And you've just written some notes of things like stress and work-life balance. Is that really affecting their health?
Yeah, just recently it seems we've had a slew of folks who are coming in and they're feeling fatigued, they're working full time, they've come through those baby years and maybe not in the best shape, they've backed off on their physical exercise, maybe stopped playing for those sports teams, and they're just surviving really, and they're not well.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's quite different. We were also talking about this before the show, that the men who come in who are of that slightly older generation have been really quite robust for their whole lives, and they're really coming in when they're 70s and 80s and looking at healthy aging in the rest of their life. But these guys coming in their 30s and 40s are in much worse health. I think it's just
wow.
I'm not really quite sure what the difference is, but yeah, it's just an interesting trend that we've noticed.
Now, I've just had a couple of comments come in through on the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine page. Thank you guys for sending your questions, and I'll just grab some answers from you both on this first before we delve into your story. Catherine Blackmore said, hi Lynette, great show. Is it safe to use high-dose vitamin C for illness or infection for people with IBS or IBD, considering the possibility of reaching bowel tolerance? Safe with constipation, prominent IBS, but avoid and diarrhea prominent? Thank you in advance.
Thanks,
And
Kat.
then,
Do you want to answer that,
actually,
or-
Kelly Heald Wilson just said the same thing. Yeah, is it safe to use it? A great question. So they both want to know. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the question really is about the dose, right? I mean, vitamin C is totally safe to use in any of those conditions, but doing the really high dose with active inflammation and diarrhea, I would be pretty cautious around that. So I would probably figure out your dosing with a professional in those situations.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Mike.
Because also, if you're already loose, you're going to go to, it may not be that you've reached bowel tolerance, but your bowel can't tolerate that form of vitamin C. So it also might be that you need to look at a different form of it, a more gentle form. So as Mike said, that's when it's totally important to get really sound advice from a professional, not who can sell vitamin C, but who has studied vitamin C and knows how to use it, particularly in a safe way.
Excellent. Now, Andy Crawford just messaged in and said, my remedy is an amazing team. Highly recommend them. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
And she also said, do you think with regards to men's health, do you think it's part of that Kiwi harden up attitude?
Yeah, I think so. We definitely have that macho attitude towards ourselves, and that you really should just toughen up and get on with it, which is good. It's an admirable quality, but when it goes on too long, you really have to rethink it, I think.
And I guess, at the end of the day, nobody really wants to live a life in pain and discomfort, do we?
That's right. Bleeding from the bowel is not admirable.
That's not okay. That's not okay. I'll just leave that one right there. Now, Mike, you've had your own journey with your health.
Okay.
Why transition from being a winemaker, coolest job ever, just saying, to working in natural medicine? So my understanding is you're a medical herbalist as well as a naturopath?
Yes. I graduated from South Pacific College of Natural Medicine, so we graduate with both of those qualifications.
Excellent. So why did you transition from wine to this?
Health has always been an interest of mine from my own experience as a teenager. Being sick, being diagnosed with IBD, using naturopathy to get well and then manage my symptoms. And I came back to New Zealand to be closer to family, and I just thought it was time to follow my passion and share with other people the health benefits that I receive from naturopathic care.
So with IBD, what sort of protocols were you using to help change your health? Because this is a big one, was it just one or two supplements you had to take, or was it a complete lifestyle change?
It was a pretty intensive protocol to start with. I had been, leading up to when I saw the naturopath, I'd been 2 years of receiving pharmaceutical therapy, working with great GP and a specialist. And they'd really got me to this point where I was stable. And, but I felt like I'd plateaued. I just wasn't getting any better, and I still wasn't as healthy as I was before I got sick.
Gotcha. Now, Lynette would call that suboptimal living, right?
Yep, exactly. So then I went to the naturopath and did a 6-week protocol, pretty intensive, full elimination diet. There was herbs, there was probiotics, and there was also protein supplementation just to kind of build me back up. A bit of a gut reset, really.
Wow, that's incredible.
And it was the difference after 6 weeks was amazing.
And so where's your health at now? If you're on that ladder, where is your health at now?
So my feet are pretty firmly on the ground. I do use nutritional therapy and herbal medicine daily to manage my symptoms. But I'm pretty happy. Yeah, I've been able to have, this is career number 2, and I've had a family and full life. And
that's incredible. Now we are going to get more into the symptoms and how to work with them very shortly, but you'll notice there's a bit of a recurring theme, and that's how much we love the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine and the Power Clinic, because they're really doing great work to bring new naturopaths into the world. And I guess when we hear stories from people that upset bowel, gut health is becoming more apparent, there is more need for people like both of you in the workplace or in the world.
Absolutely.
Really.
We need more naturopaths.
I was just doing a bit of reading before the show this afternoon and came across a news article last year about research on IBD in Christchurch, and the incidence in the last 10 years has doubled, and we now have documented one of the highest rates of IBD in the world.
Wow.
So,
very interesting, considering some of the real big information that we've learned in the last 2 weeks here, and people seem to comment that link between stress and the gut.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And if you have got IBD, we need to get on top of stress. That is number one, isn't it?
Yeah. And just before we cut to a quick video from Power Clinic, Bronwyn Todd has just said, "Hi, glad I remembered to tune in tonight. I love this live format." We love you being here. Thank you, Bronwyn.
Hey, Bronnie.
And it's great to have all of you watching, whether you're watching on My Remedy, Your Fix TV, or via the Power Clinic and South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. Now, just recently, Lynette, you popped out to the college and you grabbed a quick bit of video footage for us.
I did. This was my very first production.
Excellent. So let's take a look and meet some of the people there.
Welcome to Power Clinic. I'm Robin Carruthers, the Clinic Director. The Power Clinic is a student clinic at the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. We've got two main functions here. One is to give our students a really good educational experience. They're the ones who staff the clinic, and they are supervised by experienced practitioners, naturopaths and medical herbalists. Our other role, which is more important, is to provide the community with affordable natural health care. So we have free visits for under 6-year-old children and for people over 65, and our other adult normal fees are heavily subsidised. We see a whole range of people here at Power Clinic, people who've got just minor health complaints, who want to look at a wellness plan, right through to people who are on a range of medications and have quite serious health conditions. A lot of people think with natural health care that if you're taking medications, you can't go to a naturopath. But in fact, we're very careful to take that into account and to work around it and support people while they are taking medications that they need to take. So if this sounds like it might be of interest to you, please give us a call and we'll look forward to seeing you and to helping you on your health journey.
Well, there you go. That is Power Clinic. We love them, and we love that they're part of our journey with Health Bites. What I think I love the most is that you've got students there who are learning the latest research in natural medicine. It's such a great clinic. Now, Lynette, you've been doing a lot of work out there as well. Tell us some of the other great bits that you love about the clinic.
The garden, totally love the garden. So all of the naturopaths get to work in a beautiful environment. So it's hands-on, which is just really inspirational. The people there, the quality of the students is awesome. It's highly research focused. There's a full dispensary there, and because they've got supervision, from people who are in the industry and working out in the profession, they're really it's real cutting edge. And working with someone with Mike, he's got a really big research background. Great. And so our students are actually giving us information and knowledge. So it's a really cooperative learning environment.
I love that. So if you do want to get in touch, if you are based in Auckland, we've got the details here on the screen for you. You can of course, head to their website, which is www.spcnm.ac.nz, which is the South Pacific College Natural Medicine. That's what that stands for. Or give them a call, 09-526 9277. They have incredibly well subsidised rates. So if you are on a bit of a budget and you really want to look at your health, look, free healthcare for kids under 6.
Yep, and for the seniors as well, and it's highly discounted. You're really helping the students to learn and get their qualification, but you're getting such a good service, and you are actually going to have a first touch of natural medicine, and it's quite surprising the results we see at the student clinic level. So please, help the students in their journey and help yourself as well.
Excellent, thanks, Lynette. That's so good. So, Mike. We're talking IBD. Now, I understand with, having had symptoms myself of IBS, and I know there's a lot of people who watch our show, they're used to the bloating, diarrhea, there, I said it again, mood swings. I've heard people have messaged me personally saying, well, when I eat certain things, I bloat and I get mood swings, they get the brain fog, a whole bunch of, different symptoms like that. How is that different from somebody like you who lives with IBD?
So initially when people have IBD and it's in a flare-up situation, because IBD goes flare-ups and then remissions, so it might go away for a while, come back. So when it's in flare-up, the diarrhea is quite often, we're talking at least 4 times a day, maybe up to 20 times a day. Lots of pain. They usually do lose weight. I think you mentioned that you didn't really seem to lose weight.
No.
So with IBD, the inflammation is so severe that they really just aren't absorbing any nutrients. So everything goes straight through. Nutrient deficiencies start to crop up. So people get skin issues, cracks in the mouth, chapped lips show up, a really good early sign. And then the presence of blood would be really a warning sign and time to go to the doctor.
Wow.
Blood in the stool. Yeah.
So if any of you are watching and you're living with symptoms like this, please contact your healthcare professional. Get some help, get some support. Don't just Google it.
No.
Do something.
It's not
and look after your health.
Oh, and because the immune system is involved, people might have fevers that come and go as well. So if you've got those symptoms,
and aching joints.
Yeah. And inflamed eyes, joint pain.
Seriously?
Yeah, so if you think you've got IBS, but then you've got those other things going on as well, that's a good warning sign that you need to get yourself to your GP.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put you on right on the platform now. I'm going to grill you.
Yep.
Can naturopathy cure IBD and IBS?
No, it's classed as an uncurable disease at this point. Even all the best drugs in the world can't cure it. So the real goal of complementary medicine, so an integrative, using medicine, drugs and natural health, is to, one, induce remission and then just maintain that remission as long as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So
avoid the flare-ups as well.
Yes.
Find out what those triggers are so that you lower the stress, find the foods, and then you're not having as many flare-ups either.
So we can really provide ongoing care to figure out what foods you should be eating, what foods you should be avoiding, get those nutritional deficiencies addressed, because that's really our specialty.
Great. So the naturopathy can really work to calm those symptoms so that you can lead a better life.
Absolutely. Come down the ladder a little bit.
Yeah, that's
Like
great.
Mike is actually living really well. He has IBD, but because he's worked so much out, and he knows what to put in and what not to put in. For example, we were talking about lettuce today, which is what I would consider healthy, and eat your lettuce. But for Mike, that is one of the most irritating foods he can have. So
seriously?
working it all out,
So if I'm in really good state of remission, it's not too much of a problem. But if in any flare-ups, fiber is actually it's too aggressive. It's like eating sandpaper. If you had a wound on your skin, you wouldn't not dress it and wear a scratchy woolen jumper. It's that sort of thing. So that insoluble fiber can be really irritating to someone with IBD.
That's mind-blowing. I had no idea.
It has to be really carefully managed.
Okay, so on the flip side, we're talking about, obviously, you're a specialist in looking after men's conditions at My Remedy, and you're seeing men with digestive complaints, cardiovascular issues. Now, I know there's a lot of females who are watching out here who are the researchers and they want to know more about health. If they're in a situation where a significant man in their life, whether it's a son, whether it's their father or a partner, or even a colleague, workmate, who seems to look a little unwell or symptoms of dis-ease or discomfort, in your opinion, what can that whānau or friend or colleague do to support that person?
So I think it's just a matter of starting to talk to them about it. I think males in general kind of internalize things and keep things to themselves. So even I think people would be surprised about what comes out if you just ask them, are you okay? How are you feeling? I've noticed you're not feeling great, or you don't look like you're doing so well. All those sort of wee starters to get a conversation going would be the place to start.
Yeah, we need to come out of the toilet.
Yeah.
Start telling each other about our bowel motions and our health. And
I think I've started the conversation tonight.
Looking forward to a wine tonight.
I know, right? I think we've used it. So before we finish up, because we've got a couple more things to just nut through before we go. So just can we finalise with really nutting down what people should be looking for. Lynette, with IBS, what are the key symptoms people need to be keeping an eye out for?
General discomfort. This is IBS.
Yep.
Bloating, flatulence, sort of indiscriminate bowel behaviour. So constipation or diarrhea or a mixture of both. Maybe some food intolerances. It's general, gentle. It's meh.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Okay, excellent. Well, not excellent,
it's not great.
But thank you for that. And Mike, the symptoms of IBD that people should be looking out for.
So all of that Lynette just said, plus any unexplained weight loss, blood in the stool, unexplained fevers would be the three main ones, I think.
And the first step is not just to Google it, but to see a practitioner?
Well, you can go ahead and Google it if you want, and then,
and then come and see a naturopath.
Yep.
And the thing is, as a naturopath, we're going to go, this is beyond us. This looks like it's more likely disease. We're going to send you to your GP. It's really important that you see a GP. So if we look at it and goes, hey, this is, IBS, no problem. But even then, we might encourage you to just get some tests done and make sure it's nothing more sinister.
Now, Andy Crawford just messaged in again and said, I blow up with severe inflammation when eating lettuce.
Very interesting.
Very interesting, all right. I think maybe you need to pop in and see the team.
I think so, definitely.
Now, before we do go, Mike, you've brought in something delicious for us to try, which is something tasty, and it's also great for the bowel. What is this, Mike?
So we've been enjoying tonight what I would call a warming digestive tea. So we brewed it up. We've had it after our pre-show snack. And so this is a blend of two herbs, kawa, which is a native New Zealand plant and is a really nice, warming, slightly spicy, peppery flavour.
Yum.
And with a whole heap of ginger root. And both of these herbs are carminatifs, which is a fancy word to say that they help the bowel to release gas.
Perfect, we love that.
So for people out there who might not have easy access to kawa, a great combo is just pick up some peppermint tea bags, and you just do a tea bag in a cup with half a dozen slices of ginger, and that just makes a really nice post-dinner drink to ease your digestion, warm you up, and help you sit down and rest and digest.
Oh, I like it. And it's really tasty. I've been drinking some as well. Slightly peppery aftertaste. Speaking to a wine connoisseur from a professional wino. But it is it's a really lovely warming drink. You can taste the pepperiness of that kawa. So when people are looking for kawa leaves, they might see them in the local park. They should obviously wash them.
Yes, there's please don't go out and just pick kawa willy-nilly, because I think it might be a crime. You can get a permit to harvest on dockland, but please contact Doc first. But it grows very readily in gardens, and lots of people have it in gardens. So if you know someone with it growing, you can pick fresh leaves.
Check your own backyard.
And also, I think most health food stores probably have dried kawa that you can buy as well.
Excellent.
To use this tea.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you for making that too. It's very tasty. And finally, a couple of comments coming through. Miranda Sophie, I'm so glad this conversation has happened. Thank you, Mike, Monique and Lynette, for spurring healthy change in education. Mwah. Thank you, Miranda. And Andy Crawford just said, I agree, Miranda. It's great to take the time to listen and be listened to. Great team.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys for being part of the conversation. And also, I really want to thank both of you for coming into the studio this evening. I love the opportunity to pick your brains and to ask those questions that often people are too scared to ask. So thanks for helping on my own health journey, and for everybody watching as well. Thank you to you both.
Thanks, Nick.
And also a big thank you to the wonderful people at Power Clinic. There's their contact details again if you want to pop in and see them, or go and see one of the practitioners there at My Remedy. They would love to see you. Grab the details before I change screens very shortly. There's the details. And that is, of course, the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine, who are the chief sponsor of tonight's show. We love you guys, and thanks for being part of this journey. And also to our producers at Your Fix TV, to Mr. Pete Ward for producing the show and bringing it to you live. So thanks everyone for joining us. Now, this is a weekly conversation. This month we've been focusing on gut health. Next week we're going to do a recap of the first 3 episodes. So if you've missed any, from 7 p.m. next Monday night, you'll be able to see all 3 shows broadcast together. So you can grab all of the collective information from all of our guests, from all 3 shows. Cool. And also, we've got another great screen coming up for you. We love to say thank you. Thanks for being part of the show. Thanks for joining the conversation. Now, over the next month, we'll be talking about the effects of stress and anxiety on your health. Is it real or is it all just in your head? Oh, a great question. Now, make sure you send us your questions if you're on the Your Fix page, the My Remedy page, or South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. Send us your questions. We want to know, what do you want to see? Every month we focus on a different health condition. Please do us a favour, share the show, because the more we can share this conversation of health, the better for everyone. And also, if you get a chance, visit the websites of our partners. Because this is Health Bites, bite-sized pieces of health and wellness information so you can own your health. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks Mike, thanks Lynette.
Thank you.
Ka kite anō e noho rā.
Bye-bye.